didn't buy anything.
So let's
Street
just
Fighter. That's
yeah,
it.
Street Fighter. That's all you need.
I mean that I don't even. I finished paying that off like
Oh,
weeks ago.
okay. Let's start.
Wait,
Hey guys,
I've
welcome
paid
to
off.
Pretentious
Hey,
Taste. It's me, Danny.
I'm Madison. I have cookies in my mouth.
I'm RJ. I'll drink some water right now.
My mouth is Spartan, and I'm sure.
I don't know how to make coffee without a coffee maker, guys.
It's okay.
How do you how
How?
else do you
Well,
do it?
there's like several types of coffee maker.
Like a French press?
I don't know how to make coffee without any sort of coffee maker. I like apparently you can like boil water and make it like tea, and I tried that and I almost set the house on fire. So
What?
Uh,
How? You just
because
boil the
you
water?
like make it
You
in
get
like
a
a
filter?
saucepan and like
What the
you
Um,
put the
fuck?
coffee in the saucepan. It was really complicated and I almost there was a
man, you
fire.
gotta like really, you
yeah,
gotta
you
like
You
gotta
really want
get a
coffee to do
thing,
that.
you
a
need to get like
filter.
a Keurig or some shit, dog.
Well, here's the deal. Okay, so my mother sent me a little care package for my birthday filled with various coffees from Seattle because that's where she's resigning. And I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to crack into these babies. And so they've been like staring at me for like 2 days now. And I was just like, fuck it. Today I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make this coffee somehow. And I nearly burnt the house down. So that is where I'm just gonna. I'll save up. I'll get a coffee maker, but I'm really upset because I really want to drink this coffee.
You can
Are
get
they
a
whole
French press for
beans?
like
Yeah, like what kind
ten
of
bucks.
coffee? Is it a whole bean or something?
No, it's not
Is
beans.
it
They're like it's like it's like Folgers or whatever, but it's not Folgers. It's like
it's ground?
yeah, it's ground.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There are ways around that. You can get like a filter and get like one of those cheaper filters like hot water and pour it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Cool.
Oh, there are ways. I mean, there are a ton of
All
ways.
right. Well, I'll continue to search on ways to MacGyver this coffee. How is everybody doing?
Good.
Eh,
All right.
eh.
I'm
Yeah, it is.
I'm good.
All
I'm
right.
going to see I'm going to see a double feature tonight with some people. It's Mad Max Fury Road
Ooh.
and Mad Max the Road Warrior
Mm.
and George Miller, the director of Happy Feet and Happy Feet 2 is going to be there.
And Babe Pig in the City.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
man.
That's
cool.
excellent.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
I wonder why they
I
got.
hope you
I'm
like.
I'm
You're
like trying to think of questions to ask him and I'm the worst at that.
Ask him
I'm
like.
like
ask him how he made Happy Feet 2 and then went on to make like like, what the fuck happened?
I
that
never
is a good
saw
question.
Happy Feet 2. I remember Happy Feet 1 was pretty good. I liked that.
Happy Feet 1 was dope.
Yeah.
I remember there was a GameCube game for Happy
I
Feet.
remember that game. That game was shit.
I didn't play it, but I saw the movie.
That game was shit.
Uh, Speaking of Happy Feet,
Oh, man.
um,
Ah,
I I went to PAX, guys.
Was it
It
fun?
was fun. It was a lot of fun. Um,
Did you play
I
games?
did play games, and I have a story about those games. So,
I'm
Did you
excited.
butter your rum?
guys, I effectively killed the Street Fighter Third Strike competitive scene at PAX.
I
All
like
six
where
of
the
them?
story is going already.
So, PAX South, this is the second year that it's ever happened in the history of ever. I didn't go the first year, but a couple friends talked me into going this year. Almost wasn't able to go last second. One of my friends' moms was like, "I heard about what happened. You got scummed out, so I'm gonna buy you a pass." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." So I was able to go, and uh, PAX was cool. You know, there were a couple of booths that I was interested in, mostly stuff that I really wasn't too interested in. I'm not like super into a lot of what could be considered geek culture besides like tabletop gaming and like
Geek culture? I hate
Mhm.
geeks.
yeah.
Let me tell you, geeks suck, dog.
I saw a
I hate
couple of really
geeks.
cool cosplays. There's this person cosplaying as Mario and like Peach and Luigi, but like from the Fallout universe.
Oh,
Oh,
So
chill.
they had like this
I
bullet
think I heard
bill that
about
was like
that.
homemade and shit. It was really cool. I've got a couple photos on my Instagram, but mostly what I did was I played Street Fighter V because that was there. There was a Capcom booth that was really cool, and there was also a room upstairs that had a Street Fighter Third Strike machine. And
Amazing.
the most experience I have had with Third Strike is I've watched people play Third Strike. I've heard people talk about Third Strike, and I played it like once on this like emulator online thing, and I got my ass beat. So
Man, damn.
I saw this machine, and I have zero experience with the game pretty much, and I got my friend next to me who's pretty alright at it, and so I'm like, oh, let's play some Third Strike. Let me play it. Play a couple of characters, get my ass beat. There's a huge line for it because it's fucking Third Strike. So and they
Of
were
course.
doing like King of the Hill style, where if you win, you get to stay, and
You
then
stay
next
on.
person comes
Mm.
up.
Right.
So eventually, after cycling through about 7 characters, I was there for about 2 hours. I was like, I'm gonna try out Hugo because he's the only grappler in this game, and I'm really only good with grapplers. So I pick Hugo unknowingly, picking essentially what is like the worst character in the
You a
game.
Rex.
Uh,
You
uh,
Rex stuff. Do you know how to use him?
no.
He can
He's
wreck the
actually
shit
not.
out of you.
Like everybody
Like
there was
Alex
like,
is lower tier than
okay, because
Hugo.
everybody there was telling me, oh man, you played Hugo, you're gonna have a rough time. And then I just started bodying people. Like these people who played the game for like 15 years were getting demolished by my Hugo. And at first I was like, oh, it's probably just dumb luck. But I was the person at that machine playing for like 4 hours.
Oh my god.
I only lost once to an Akuma who like damn near double perfected me. Well,
Hmm.
anyways,
Oh man.
there's also going to be a Third Strike tournament later that day. So
Excellent.
I'm like, perfect. I'm apparently decent at this game with Hugo, and this should be a blast. So I walk around PAX for a bit. Around the time the tournament's about to start up, I head up to the room again, and I'm like, I'm gonna play one practice match. And I play up against this guy who's been at the machine for about 20 minutes, and I beat him. And then he looks at me and he's just like, "Oh, you're him," and then like walks off. Doesn't even, and I've been handshaking everybody. Doesn't give me a handshake. Just walks off.
Oh, you're here.
Yeah,
It's
and
you.
so that was my practice match. I walk over to the guy who's doing tourney signups, and I'm like, "Hey, how do I sign up for the Third Strike tourney?" And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, that's not happening." And I was like, "Why not? There were tons of people here playing Third Strike. What's the why are we playing Alpha 2 instead?" And he was like, "Well, people just stopped playing Third Strike. I don't know why. They just nobody's really playing it. You're like the only person who's asked me about the tourney today." And I go, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "Do you want to sign up for the Alpha 2 tournament?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Uh, and while I'm in line for the Alpha 2 tournament, I overhear up at the front of the line, somebody's like, "Yo, what happened to the Third Strike tourney?" And another person was like, "Man, there was this cancer ass Hugo player playing earlier."
Oh my
Everybody just
god.
kind of left. And so I'm sitting there like in awe with my friend. We're just kind of looking at each other, and and then he looks at me and he goes, "Dude, you killed Third Strike," and I just fucking lose it. And so in like various lines, I will hear about like I went into this line to go like
Great.
apparently Adam Sessler like had a panel there, and so I'm in line for that, and I hear like up in the front. I'm like, oh shit, I think that's a Hugo player. Like, and I just hear this for like the rest of the weekend. Like, occasionally I'll hear
Oh my
people go, "Oh shit, that's
god.
the Hugo player."
So you became like
That's a Hugo.
I became like a
you're
meme.
you're you're like that person that Twister was talking about in Overnight Celebrity.
Like,
That was you.
I
That's a deep cut, by the way.
that was a very deep cut. I didn't catch that.
That was a deep cut.
Oh
Oh
wait,
boy,
Twister, the
yeah, that's
rapper,
cool.
Overnight Celebrity, the
Yeah,
song. Okay. See, I thought you said Cisco for a second. Like the.
Yeah.
Cisco. Although he really likes games.
Does he?
That's yeah. He was at
I
E3.
know Soldier Boy's like really into anime.
Soldier Boy's really into games. He. You see that one video where he was playing
Yeah, I
Braid
saw that one.
and like
Yeah.
a piece of like John Braid's like soul being destroyed.
Yeah, in Indie Game the movie. That was good.
That's such a good movie. That movie makes me a little sad.
I, I have mixed feelings about that movie, but also I have one last pack story. I
Okay.
ran into Adam Sessler, like physically ran into Adam Sessler.
Oh my
I
god.
was posting photos on Instagram, and I was like not paying attention, and Adam Sessler and I just collided. And
That's fucking amazing.
and then I talked to him very briefly, and he was very nice, and he and yeah, that was about it. I thought that was neat. physically ran into Adam
That was what
Sessler.
gave you power.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
The cess.
Besides that, PAX is awesome. I recommend it to anybody who might want to go to a convention. I picked up some shit. It was cool. I dug it. All right.
I'm going to WonderCon at the end of
What is
March.
WonderCon?
It's so there's a shitload of Comic Cons
Yeah.
every month in various places in the world. WonderCon is there's only two. There's San Diego Comic Con and there's WonderCon, and they're like affiliated ones, like
Hmm.
with that brand or whatever. All the other cons are just like other things.
Yeah.
Are you saying? Are
So
you
it's like
saying
a
that?
smaller San Diego Comic Con, but it's in
So
LA.
is WonderCon basically the Squire to Comic Con's Fender?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's an excellent metaphor. Yes,
I'm good at those. I've been told. So
yes. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is, and that's where I'm going to be debuting my motherfucking dope, dank ass, trill, super rad,
you see,
ocelot cosplay.
okay, there we go. I'm like, man, this is getting worse
Yeah.
all the time. I'm like, please, merciful God, end me.
So wait, is there only
That's cool. I'm very excited.
is there only
Very
like
excited.
one official like Comic Con? Is that like the San Diego Comic Con, or is there like an LA Comic Con?
There's New York. There's New York Comic
Yeah,
No,
Con.
yeah,
there's
yeah.
tons of
Okay.
cons,
New
but
York.
but San Diego Comic Con and WonderCon are like affiliated
Okay.
somehow, and then the other ones are
It's like a
not.
sister
I
con.
don't know,
Yeah.
but they're the bigger
Sister Con.
Speaking
ones.
of sister cons,
I'm,
RJ, in your area, don't you have Dragon Con?
Yes, we hit. It's in Atlanta,
That's
but
the
yes,
unspoken
that's.
18 plus.
Oh right, yes, the
what?
orgies.
I was
What?
my friend. Okay, so I
What?
my buddy Seek goes to used to go to cons all the time. My friend Alex goes to cons all the time, and they're telling me they're like, yeah, so Dragon Con, like obviously it's all ages because all cons are, but it's like it's just like the unspoken rule that it's the 18 plus con because that's when everybody gets really freaky.
Well, apparently you
Is
can
drag?
like get drunk at Dragon Con. That's like the
Yeah,
big like
and
thing.
that's also a thing.
Yeah.
That's scary because then like 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds will be there,
Yeah,
and it's like they can get taken advantage of. I don't like any of this. Shut it down.
nah.
Shut it down.
Nah, they're just nerds, and most people are chill. It's just like
Oh
easy
man,
to like, you know.
you know as well as I do that oh, nerds. I don't
That's
know.
what I was about to say. But just saying nerds isn't
You're
like
right.
I don't
You know
know.
oh.
what? You're
And
100%
To
correct.
the
I've seen the abyss of nerddom. I've seen it,
dude
I've
Yeah,
looked
and
into the
yeah,
darkness, and the darkness has looked back.
over the pants
just
hand
looking
jobs at
back
the
on it.
Yu-Gi-Oh table.
Yeah, man.
God damn.
That's oh goodness. That's not why.
Uh,
Why? This is
Yu-Gi-Oh!
sacred
Oh wait,
ground. This is
I forgot. I
Yu-Gi-Oh.
forgot. People don't play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. They play My Little Pony, the trading card game.
Oh right, yeah.
And okay, Diane, here's my thing though. All right, take it in.
Right.
Oh boy.
I like where this is going.
As life goes on,
Oh
I
Okay.
man.
guess less worth living when you hear about things like this. Why is that Apple PTCG? Actually, why not?
There are plenty
Actually,
of
why not?
Fine.
knots to that. Um, I think the biggest one is probably it's My Little Pony.
Mm.
I mean, okay. Here's the thing, though. I've already given into that's on my also my one of my resolutions is to give into the entropy of the universe and like the suffering of lesser
Huh?
society. So that's
All
some.
right,
It's
shit.
I
like, all right, what you guys doing here? MOPTCG, all right,
I have
mobbing. I
I
feel
have
it.
a theory.
Let's go.
Okay.
I've
Uh-huh.
told RJ this theory before, but I don't think I've told either of you this theory.
Okay.
I think somewhere
Alright.
along the timeline of our universe, there was
Are we in the
Oh.
bad timeline?
yeah, there was a split, and we entered the hell dimension. And I think the beginning of that hell dimension was around the time that new metal like started. Like there was a path where we didn't make new metal, and we did make new
You know
metal,
what?
and we took the path
I
with new metal.
I believe that.
That
I
sucks.
I believe going into the new millennium, there are 1,000 ways the new millennium could have started,
Mhm.
and I think we went down a path. Basically, we're all
Lincoln
skull
Park was
kids.
not the best way to
We are
go.
all skull kids, apparently. That's just
Yep.
that's just it. or whatever the hell that zone time is. I really don't care. Whatever. Anyhow,
What else has everybody been up to besides
Uh,
mortality?
I went to a chiptune show
Oh yeah,
who's
in
playing?
LA. It was pretty cool.
Like,
It
what?
was a totally DIY, so it's like mostly like local
So like Anna
kids.
Monoguchi's not there.
No, but my friend who I made is like knows their drummer, and their drummer, he was telling me their drummer, Anamanaguchi's drummer, used to be the drummer in like every fucking chiptune band in LA. Like he was like the guy that, and he played with all these different acts and stuff. But then when that guy moved to New York to be an Anamanaguchi, like none of these bands had a drummer, so it effectively like killed the entire chiptune scene for like a
Damn.
couple of
Are you
years.
saying the drummer? He the Troy Baker of chiptune?
Yeah.
Troy
Man,
Baker.
honestly, I'm just on with these similes and metaphors right now. I'm not even trying. It's just coming to
Yeah,
me.
we haven't even gotten to the album.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just like, well, this is like this. Also, I had a cupcake. It was pretty sweet.
Oh, dope.
I usually don't like cupcakes, but that was,
I'm,
I fuck with cupcakes.
cupcakes are
uh,
cupcakes are okay every once in a while.
I'm not the biggest.
you
If they're
know,
really dope cupcakes, I'm
I'm not the
like,
biggest fan about
the
sweets, but like I'd prefer cupcakes over cake. I don't care for cake too much.
I
Mm,
like
no,
all
I can't go with you
sweets.
there.
I don't know about that.
I'm big on sweets, yo.
Like the wise sage Mark Hoppus once said, as he does, that cupcakes are just cakes with diapers. It's true.
Wow.
Well, can't
Is he
argue with that.
wrong? I don't think
How
he
do you guys feel
is.
about
Can't argue
flan?
with. I
Flan
don't
is
have a.
alright.
That's like a pie or something.
It's like a Jello kind of.
I've
Yeah,
never
flan is
seen
like a
flan,
weird
Oh,
cake jello, like
yeah.
symbiosis shit.
but if
It's
it sounds
alright.
like that,
I
eh.
don't know, man. Just give me some waffles, honestly. Just
You want waffles for
I'll take.
dessert?
Hell, fucking yeah! I love waffles.
Not a
I
dessert food.
fucking love. I'll take waffles
Anything,
anytime.
anything's a dessert.
Any. In fact, yeah, anything with dessert
That's a
food.
lie.
Anything can be an anything food.
I mean, like any sweet can be a dessert, like food if you try hard enough.
You can make waffles a dessert.
Very
You
Very
can make
easily.
waffles dessert, but I don't think waffles on their own is a dessert.
well.
If someone was like, "All right, you just had this poutine," I'm saying poutine because I just had poutine yesterday.
Fucking
Pretty
Canadian.
sweet. You know, take the other one out. You guys are like, you ain't rolling as deep as we are in poutine. Poutine is like it's important.
Yeah, but you guys don't
So
have
has
like
like a shit ton of poutine.
crawfish, so it's okay.
Yeah, we do. What are you talking about?
You guys have crawfish up in Canada?
I live in Toronto. I can get that shit if I wanted.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's fake.
Toronto's
It's
good.
Barely.
fake crawfish. It doesn't count.
Okay, all
Okay.
I
right.
had curry for the
You guys
first
in
time though.
your fucking
I had
Curry?
there. I will
I
get to that in a
What kind
second.
of curry?
I
I will
had
get to that in a second.
I had
But
red curry for the first time
Thai or
ever.
Indian?
It was Thai.
red curry, yeah.
It
Awesome.
was
Thai red curry's
fucking
dope.
awesome. I
Yeah, dog.
oh curry's the best.
Dude,
Thai
I
curry
eat.
and Indian curry, or any kind of like, or like even Tamil curry. They can all be very different things.
Yeah, no, he said it was Thai, or they said it was Thai.
Or Jamaican curry, or like even like a split between Jamaican curry.
You guys want some dope curry? You can come to LA. We can get a bowl of the best fucking curry you'll ever eat in your life for literally seven
Maddie,
I
dollars.
you
make my own.
literally say that about any food that's from LA.
I know,
Literally, it's
And
amazing.
honestly,
like
I trust
chill,
Toronto.
man.
I would rather go to Toronto for food than LA.
Hell
Damn.
yeah,
Are you
man.
tripping? Are you tripping right
No,
now? Are you
Oh,
tripping right now?
LA's not
No,
I
even
look,
that
Toronto's a
great.
great city. I went to Toronto. I've had food in Toronto. It's great. No city on earth, not New York, not Toronto, not fucking
Oh, what?
Paris. I don't give a shit. LA is the best city for food in the
oh,
world.
Bullshit.
bullshit.
That
that
is hot
No,
shit.
yeah.
You know
was
how
a
hot that
sentence.
shit is?
Yes,
That's the Atari
yes.
Jaguar. That's how shit that is.
There
That is
is.
not even,
It is 100%
I
true.
will argue
that
that you guys
is not
probably have the
true.
best like taco trucks, maybe.
Our
I don't
trucks
think
are
that,
fucking
although
amazing,
I've never
but
been to
there's
San Diego,
so
and
many.
ever since San Diego's burritos are better.
You guys should. Oh, San Diego, fuck off.
I didn't say that she did, so. Like,
No, you guys should watch this. There's this documentary coming out called City of Gold that will come out
can't be about LA.
in March 11th. It's about a food critic named Jonathan Gold who lives in LA. and his own
That's a
kind of
sick name.
personal journey through the city and why its food
Food
scene is
critics
so
can go eat a
robust.
dish.
Not Jonathan Gold, dude. Like, he's the
Uh,
man.
uh,
I mean it.
Well,
Like,
I
he
think we're
goes
just
into, like, the rinky-dinkiest,
look,
like, fucking strip mall food and will, like, find the most amazing thing. Like, no, I know what you mean. Like, in general, yes, I agree with you, but this guy is something else. And so I highly recommend when this movie comes out that y'all see
I don't
it,
know, man.
if you're food people.
I'm a foodie. Uh,
Yes.
no,
Foodie.
Eh!
no, like okay. I guess I can't talk mad shit because this is literally a podcast for music critiquing.
Well,
But like, I've always found food critics to be ridiculous.
I've met a few in
No,
my
I completely agree with you on
in my class.
almost every level, but this guy is like he's the man, and I mean that. He's
Although
the
I'm
man.
kind of happy though, yeah, that food critics kind of exist though, because that's that's kind of put it this way. I'm happy that food critics exist in the same way that I'm happy that photographers exist. It's just because like I don't have all the time in the world. Like I've made my vices are in stone of things that like
Sure.
I will go to the ends of the earth to find, like music or video games. So like I love photography, but I'm no photographer. But I like that culture. I kind of admire foodie culture in a way. If it's not too pretentious to wear me off, but like
Yeah.
it can be alright, I guess. I don't know, but like I bet a lot of asshole foodies, so like, what do I know?
It can go either way, just as everything can. But LA food, awesome,
Ah, that's not true.
and you can get it for cheap. That's the nice thing.
Cheap. Have you been to New York? You can get food for a sock in New
Yeah.
York.
No. Yeah. I you can get food for a sock in LA, dude.
It's so like
People in LA don't wear
man.
socks. They wear no shoes or
Flip
flip
flops.
flops.
I know. Just
That's true. Actually, I don't wear shoes a lot of the time.
looks like a quick screen. It's just feet.
I don't blame
I
you.
wear
It's
shoes
hot
like
over there.
indoors.
Oh, why would you wear shoes
It is.
indoors? That's how you get bad
Oh
Well,
my
spirits.
like if
god!
I'm in a
That,
store,
What, are you in a sitcom?
I'm not gonna like go barefoot in a store. That's just like rude and hippie
you
shit.
just
If I'm like
Also,
you
outside,
just reminded me that I'm still
that's,
wearing my shoes, and now I'm taking them off like in spite.
I don't like that.
well,
I
like
don't
in
like
your
that.
own home, you can take. No, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm
But
just giving you
like,
a hard time.
have
No.
you noticed in like sitcoms where like one thing that breaks immersion is that everyone's wearing shoes inside? It's like, why are you wearing shoes inside your own
That's how you
house?
bring
I already
bad
don't
Yeah.
believe
spirits
this.
into
Is
your own house.
it true? Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No, like I don't wear my shoes in my house, but like I'm gonna wear shoes in a store.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I hate it
that's,
when people
that's
walk
true.
into my store not wearing shoes, and I'm like, can you
Just
put some fucking shoes on, you dirty
feet
hippie?
just clapping on the tiles, just slapping
the
with
slap of
sweaty.
flesh.
Especially because the store, the floor at my store is like sparkly, so you can't tell the difference between glass and just the sparkles. So there might straight up just be glass on the floor that you can't see. So,
Mm,
you know,
lawsuit.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
that's cool. That's cool.
I'm going to get tacos later today, actually.
Ooh.
This place in Santa Monica
Oh,
called Benny's Tacos. It's supposedly
Tacos.
super dope.
is it sunny there right now?
Yeah, it's so fucking hot. All of a sudden, it is like 90 degrees today, and
Oh
it's been
wow.
cold the past 2 weeks.
Like, although it's fairly warm for normal. It's like 2 degrees here Celsius, which is fairly warm for February. It should be way colder than that, but still, it's not
2 degrees. It's
hot.
like almost 40-ish, like here
40.
in
Whatever.
Fahrenheit.
I don't.
It's
I
like
feel
40 and a bit.
it's one. I'm too lazy to do it. And two, it's undignified for me to have to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit because that's bullshit. That's a bullshit like
Not
temperature.
wrong.
Like, just everyone else is doing the other thing. Just do the other thing.
Look,
I don't know.
we
I
gotta be
like
special.
Fahrenheit.
Special. You
Yeah.
see that halftime show? Coldplay is special. God damn
Coldplay
it!
is British.
Yeah, Coldplay's British.
I know that that changes nothing.
All right, fair enough.
Can
If that's the opinion
That's not. That's,
you want to take.
that,
we talk about that halftime show? Did
I
you
actually
guys
didn't watch
see
it.
it?
I just saw my
I
Twitter
didn't.
feed.
I didn't watch it. I
Yeah,
just
I've
heard.
seen.
I wanted to watch the game. Like I didn't really give a shit about. Cause once I heard Coldplay didn't have to, I'm like, I really don't give a
What
shit
about
about
Beyonce
this.
though?
So I'm like, Okay, so let me just go over it then, I guess.
Let's get into
Coldplay
this.
was the headliner, which is just like once
A
I heard Coldplay was the
suggestion.
headliner, I'm like,
It's a suggestion.
what? Why the fuck? I was like in disbelief. Like, what made you think Coldplay should be a headliner? Have you heard their music? It's like cool. Okay, I made this tweet. I'm like, basically, in a nutshell, the Super Bowl show is like having two amazing, like fucking beautiful, like artisanal sourdough loaves, and then you put like cafeteria grade meatloaf in between the bread. And you just ate it, and it's like, man, these this bread tastes like pillows, but like the meat tastes like that one hat I ate when I was 6 and I was curious. So like it starts with them performing a song. I think it was I don't remember which song it was. It might have been Yellow. I think it was Yellow,
There are some
which
good Coldplay songs.
I
There's
hate
like
listening to
two.
Yellow. I don't like listening to Yellow. There's that one song that was on what X and Y or whatever the hell that one's called. That's okay.
I
Speedo
liked
sound.
X and Y actually. That was the last.
Y-
I mean all their music sounds the exact same. But
I
X and
mean,
Y was the last one well, I was also in fifth grade when X and Y came out, and so I was really into Coldplay in fifth grade, and so that album hit me hard.
so like they performed that. I think they
As a
performed
10-year-old,
a bit of the Scientist, whatever that song is,
that album's
and
good.
they're
I'll
performing it,
defend that album. That
and
album
I'm
is
like,
good.
whatever. And there's the whole thing where they're like doing like a sort of
Hmm.
like there's a bunch of flowers in the field, like people like gigantic flowers that people were folding and unfolding,
I'm sure
and
they
it
played
kind of
Viva La Vida.
they did,
I hate that
and
I
song.
I actually I don't mind that song, and I'll explain to you why I don't mind that song just after.
yeah, I don't think it's bad.
I don't
So
I
like
they
don't.
that
were
Yeah,
song.
I have to
folding
agree
and
with Maddie on
unfolding
that one.
flowers, and they had a stage, which is always still just so impressive how they're able to get a fucking concert stage onto the field in like 15 minutes. Like that doesn't even make any
Oh,
sense.
and you know who was there? Sorry, real quick, is the Los Angeles Youth Orchestra, which is full of
Yeah,
underprivileged kids from the inner city.
yeah, they were playing.
Conducted by my boy Dudamel. Hell yeah!
I don't know who that is. But
He's
anyhow,
All right.
amazing, amazing.
but yeah, they're actually playing the strings on Viva La Vida.
Yeah, which is dope.
Um,
So
but
good job.
yeah, so they have this thing where it's like this fake sort of half Maharaja like India thing. It was kind of like the Beatles, like that type of like
Sure.
concept of like, what the Beatles thought India was, even though the Maharaja was a horrible, horrible man. And but anyway, that's not that's not thing. That's what they're kind of doing. And there are some flags, and I was like, oh, whatever. And then it was happening. I'm like, whatever. And then Bruno Mars came out. Him and I think Mark Ronson came out, and they were in some straight up like Run DMC like kind of attire, which I heavily appreciated. And even all the moves they were doing, because they're performing
Yeah.
like Uptown Funk. What else were they gonna fucking perform? But they're like all the moves they were doing were very, like so specifically 1992. Like the moves they were doing, not even like oh early 90s. No, that's like the effect of MC Hammer is at like culture
Yeah.
saturation and other stuff like they're doing the Running Man, they're doing Roger Rabbit, they're doing a bunch of dance moves. I'm like, oh man, all right, I can kind of appreciate this. And that song's just kind of fun. Uptown Funk is just kind of a fun song. And then Beyonce came out. Like they got to like a coda in the song Uptown Funk and they swung it the other way. Another thing is I kind of wonder how much they practiced this because there were literally no mistakes, like which is almost scarily impressive, I guess, because there you couldn't be messy. They it was very tight, like 15 minutes, very tight, 15 or 20 minutes.
Sweet.
And they turned over to Beyonce, and then Beyonce had like her backup dancers, which apparently some people were, some people are like, "Wow, how come Beyonce didn't have any like other dancers, like any white backup dancers? She's racist or something like that." At first, I
Oh
thought that was a
my
joke, but that's
god.
actually a sentiment going on Twitter. I'm just laughing, like you guys are so stupid.
What the fuck?
But anyway, so she performed a bit of formation. Like I heard some of the beat go, I'm like, wait a second, you're gonna actually perform formation?
That
There's no
song came
fucking
out
way.
fucking yesterday.
Yeah, but I'm like that, and also formation is like gives no fucks
Yeah, hard
to
hits.
the lyrical content. And I'm like, they're gonna fucking edit the shit out of this. She's probably gonna do the like. I'm talking to my friend Anna, and I'm like, all right, so this is her new song. They're probably gonna cut out most of that verse. They'll probably do the thing where she does a little bit of the intro. They'll probably cut out the stuff where she says Negro like 6 times, and they'll
Mhm.
probably just go to the chorus a bit. And I was fucking right. And they did it, and it was still good. And it
Mhm.
was still impressive because she's doing all this shit, like singing, and like the choreo was pretty tight. And she was in like gigantic heels, which is always
I did
impressive.
see pictures and I was like, is she dancing on fucking
Yeah,
AstroTurf in heels?
yeah.
Because that is just
And
impeccable
then
form.
the show got kind of interesting. Well, I mean, at this point it was already interesting. Then it got like significantly like, oh, this is cool. Where they were doing like a mashup of like Uptown Funk and like Formation, and then they did a bit of Uptown Funk
I saw
into
a
like
bit
Crazy
of
in
that
Love,
in the news this morning.
and then they were just sort of dancing back and forth, and then they sort of mashed everything up, and I'm like, I say to my friend, I'm like, yo, where the fuck did Coldplay go? Then Chris Martin randomly comes out. He randomly comes into the middle of them, like the fucking third stringer on the Milwaukee Bucks bench. Like, just here I
Just like a deep
am,
cut.
and I'm like, okay. And he starts singing, and he's quite swiftly outsung by Beyonce and Bruno Mars. Like, to the point where I couldn't even tell where Chris Martin was. And then it kind of ended, and then the game continued, and the game was all right. The Panthers lost. I kind of wanted them to win, but kind of happy that Peyton Manning gets to win. And that's probably his last game. That guy is not coming back. That guy is like 40.
Football.
Even though I shouldn't really give a fuck because football is just an American holiday. The
Really?
real football is football, not this American tripe.
The
You
real
know,
football is
passing
what's
off.
inside
Ah.
you.
No, it's not. What's inside me is nothing but sadness. I don't want that shit. So, other than that, been trying to work on a little bit of new music to the point where now I'm just like incubating songs like for weeks at a time, like a single song. Not because like, partially because I'm like did a bunch of shit going on. If you look at the layers or something in a song, I'm like a ton of shit. But also because I'm kind of like paranoid. I'm like, oh, this drum is 1/32 too loud.
We have such a different
Fair
I'm
enough.
gonna
creative
turn it
process
down,
that it
go to
like blows
sleep.
my mind.
Like turn it down, go to sleep, wake up the next day, so I can hear it differently with different ears. This thing is too low. Turn it back up.
When I like when I record songs, it's just like I do it once, and I'm like, "How was that? Okay, cool," and I just save it,
That's good
and
enough.
and that's it.
Yeah,
I could never
I do that a
imagine
lot
sitting on a
with
song for like
guitar.
weeks. I'd get impatient and then I'd forget it, or I'd probably just think it was garbage.
There's, I'll say the song. I mean, it depends. Like I did a cover of like Next Year by Foo Fighters. I did that in like 10 minutes.
Really
Did it, did the thing, and it, like, yeah, I was done.
nice.
But like this song, I did a cover that was like not cover, like a sample. I was like struggling with because for some reason, like I just fucking didn't know how to sample anything for a good week and a half, and I was like, panicking, like, oh god, what's going on? I don't know how to like sync everything, and it was like a Neon Indian sample I've been wanting to use since I figured out how to sample properly.
Mm.
But I made that work,
Nice.
and that's kind of it. I'm out here sitting on Street Fighter, probably looking
Oh,
at
Ooh.
okay.
Firewatch, but still sitting on waiting for Street Fighter
Can we talk about Street Fighter Five like really
looking.
quick?
Sure.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, that
I
You
love
game
haven't
is
Street.
so
extended the
good.
call.
That game is
It is
so
so
good.
fucking
Oh
oh,
my fucking god, that game is so
it's
good.
so good.
It is good.
That's all I
Oh
have to say.
god. Oh
Y'all forget that I played that shit. Comic Con.
No.
man. Yeah.
It is
Like
good.
I played the last round of the beta. I played literally one match, turned my PS4 off, walked away. I'm like, this has to
I'm
end.
not worthy.
I can't keep playing these betas. Like I just it has to end.
I
So I just saved and I deleted.
I couldn't
Yeah.
find a character to stick with. I played it for a while. I spent most of my time at the Capcom booth, and
Mhm.
finally I played Rashid. That's the main. That
Yeah.
that character is fun as shit.
His the pace of his fighting is really interesting because it's kind of slow in a way, or not like
Mhm.
slow but
Yeah.
deliberate. It's very the way he
Yeah.
fights is extremely deliberate, and like if you're coming at him like you're trying to rush because for whatever reason I'm playing Ken and like I usually play Ryu, and I usually play Ryu
Mhm.
like more perceptively like counteractively with Ken. I'm just rushing. I don't know why. I guess because like Ken's moves and stuff are he's just a different character in this game.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I've just been playing rushing, and then I've been rushing into receive. Like, okay, this isn't gonna
I always
work.
thought that you were supposed to play Ken more
I've
aggressively than like Ryu.
been sitting on BK. Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, you can do both, but like
But yeah,
even when I'm playing Ken in Street Fighter 4, I didn't play Ken that aggressively. Just Ken has a
yeah.
lot of like, his tool set is greater in this game by quite a margin, I think. But anyway, people probably don't give a shit about Street Fighter on this
We talked
podcast.
about football for
To be
like
honest,
5 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think people give a shit about football
exactly.
And
either.
we talked about food, so
Okay,
this is
people
a
give a shit
music
about food.
Let's
podcast.
just cover all the bases before we get to the
How did
meat.
you guys think about breathing yesterday?
It was pretty
Ah, it
dope.
was a lot of fun. I ate a lot of
Except
poutine.
I have some allergies right now. I never used to have allergies, but now I'm like getting them. It's pretty
It's probably
irritating.
not allergies. You probably get like cursed by like a wizard.
by 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 a
It's
shaman
that's
in the hate or
possible.
something.
A
It's
shaman
possible.
of wind is like really upset with you.
God damn
this
it.
the shaman by the LA Convention Center, and you just looked at them derogatory, like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with you. Also, because we're probably not gonna review it, I will say I'm surprised by that Rihanna album. Extremely surprised. That's all I'll
I
say.
haven't listened to it yet. I downloaded it
I've
just because
I
I enjoyed that I could download it for free, so I have it, but I haven't listened to it.
I have it. I've had it on my computer for maybe 3 days. Then like this morning around 3 a.m. I listened to it. I've listened to it 6 times since then.
I thought I have
So it's
some
good?
pretty good songs on it.
I
Yeah,
said
it's
I'm not
good.
gonna say anything about it.
Okay.
It's embargoed.
RJ,
Fair.
what have you been
Fair
up to?
enough.
Let's see. One, playing a lot of
Of
Street
course.
Fighter.
As you do.
Two, yes. Finally listened to all of Fugazi's albums,
Oh yeah.
all the studio albums. Finally got to it. Um, that's been on the shelf for about 2 years now, 2 or 3. Oh, what the hell?
I'm glad it's off the shelf
Oh, okay.
because
Sorry. Yeah, off the shelf. Finally finished it off. Went a little different than I expected, but it's okay. I listened to some other stuff. I listened to, let's see what else. Ween. I listened to a little bit of Ween, and by a little bit of Ween, I mean I listened to the song Ocean Man about 30 times because that's a fucking good
it's a really
song.
good song.
But I listened to the rest of the album too, and it was pretty good. But there was nothing Ocean Man tier.
I like the mollusk a lot. I think that's a good song.
Um, oh yeah, that's one of the best songs on there. I listened to this one. I discovered this one really great album while looking for some albums. This album Stratosphere by Duster. That shit's real good. Some good ass slowcore shit. Um, what else have I been doing? And that's about it because most of my time's just been Street Fighter. So just patiently waiting and playing. That's it. That's all. That's all for me.
Super
You
dope.
know, what were you expecting with those Fugazi lists? Were you expecting like most of them to be okay and then like one to be like perfect?
Actually, I was expecting most of the albums to be like super great. I was expecting like a Radiohead
Oh yeah, no.
situation.
I guess nah. You couldn't
No.
even call Fugazi like the Radiohead of post-hardcore. I'd say that's like
No.
I don't think post-hardcore has a Radiohead. Maybe it's like
No.
let me think. Maybe at the drive-in, just because they have two really great records in a
Mm,
row.
I think that
two
I
al-
think they don't
two
have enough
albums.
albums though.
We're about to get a
Yeah,
new one, so that's cool.
There's
because that's more like the Neutral Milk Hotel
Okay, yeah, yeah.
of
yeah.
post-hardcore.
What is it again? It's like the first one. I think that's self-titled. I think. Well, that's the third one. That's
No,
self-titled.
none of them are self-titled.
I don't know. I haven't listened to At the Drive-In in a very 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 long time, like 3 years.
They have the first one. I think it's called Acrobatic Tenement, but I'm not too sure.
The second one's
Yeah,
Casino
in Casino
something.
Out,
I
and then
never.
In
third
in
is a Relationship
Yeah.
of Command.
yeah.
Oh right, it's 3 albums,
Yeah.
not 2. So
Yeah, I
never mind
never.
about the Neutral Milk Hotel thing.
That's still
It's
pretty
some
neutral.
band.
or maybe they're the no, yeah. Actually, I'll still go with
Every
Jesu.
time I listen to At the
I
Drive-In,
never
it makes
got.
me want to listen to Fugazi, and every time I listen to Fugazi, it makes me want to listen to At the Drive-In.
It's
So
like
you're
this.
just playing
Calm down.
ping
Yeah.
pong.
I listen to like one Fugazi song, and then listen to like one At the Drive-In song, and then one Fugazi song, and then one At the Drive-In song. They're good. They're real good.
Let's go.
We
Getting that at the drive-in
Yeah,
this
we are
year.
getting them at the
Getting that new
Drive-In
at the
this year.
drive-in.
Hopefully, seeing them on tour that'd be cool.
Hopefully that's good.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Uh.
They're only going to some fest. That's probably not gonna happen for me.
Oh wait, what?
I never got into post-hardcore.
They're 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 like going to like what Shaky Knees or
Yeah,
something,
Maddie.
and
I
like
feel like everybody should listen to Fugazi. Like that's just a band that like should be universally
I
listened
mean,
to.
I
I think
think
I've heard some
You definitely
Fugazi, but
have.
it's
You
just I.
I've heard all. What's that one Red album with
13
Waiting? Was that 12
songs.
songs? 13. I've heard that album.
well
That
that
one's pretty
yeah
good.
that's just like I think that was just like an EP on
Yeah,
an
it was
EP,
just an
right?
EP.
Then we have the
Or
other
is
one.
it
I've
just
heard the
one of
other
those
one
EPs
too.
included in an out with an album or something?
Isn't there
Or is it,
like the one with all the blue writing or something on the
Repeater.
cover? I've heard that one too.
uh,
Was that Repeater? I want to say it wasn't Repeater, but I think it was. Cause I was thinking of Mission to Burma for some reason.
excuse me for a moment.
Yeah, I'd say that
Yeah, I don't
13
know.
songs and Repeater are probably the worst Fugazi releases. Waiting Room's a good song. Waiting Room's
Mm.
probably one of the best Fugazi song, maybe one of the best. But yeah,
Everybody's moving.
Repeater's okay. The rest of their shit's real good though. Um, we listened to some records, didn't we?
We did. We did. We listened to
I
two.
think meeting them.
We did listen to some
Would you say
records.
that the listening experience was savage?
No.
Good spots. Like
I
I
mean,
don't
did you
know.
guys adore any of these records?
Uh,
I could just end this call.
I know that would be bad. That would.
You know what? You guys are mean. We listened to the new Savages record, Adore Life, not Adore. That's a Smashing Pumpkins album. That's pretty mediocre.
Also, I
There's a
want to be
song called
adored.
Adore.
I want to
So
be adored as a fucking Stone Roses song.
What did you guys think of Adore Life by Savages?
I'll go first because I'll be
Okay.
short. Like
short for
I heard
truth.
that album.
It's only about like 10 minutes. So settle in. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
Go on.
Yeah, I can't lie. I'm
Fucking
sorry. I have a lot of things to say about it.
It comes from a place of deep respect and regret.
But I heard that record. I heard Adore twice. The first time I heard it, I'm like, okay. Then the second time I heard it, I'm like, all right. That was kind of how I felt with the record. I felt like there were a bunch of. It sounded like a bunch of songs that had a bunch of good priming spots. You're like, all right, this is where the album's gonna really dig it. And I kept saying that right until the end. I'm
yeah.
like, this is where the album's really gonna fucking
Yeah.
just take off. No, like the kind of stuff where if you hear something on the radio and it's like
Mhm.
okay, yeah, like, this is pretty good, but you have no motivation to go check out
Yep.
other works or something like that. That's how I felt about the Savages
Which is
record. Like I just
disappointing.
Yeah.
Cause
uh,
like
uh,
I was never really a big fan of Savages either. I guess but it's like I just felt not nothing in the way that that uh, that what's that? Who were they again? Those assholes. They have like banjos, but they don't have
Mumford and
Tool.
anything.
Sons.
Yeah, that
I got
second
you.
record, or not, or I think the third
The
record.
third record.
Yeah,
It was the
I,
third one.
I literally felt nothing. At least with this record, I felt like okay, this is just this is solid, I guess, but it's not.
Mhm.
When I heard the Mumford and Sons record, I literally felt nothing at all in life. When I heard this record, I felt like, oh, it's just that's a rock record.
Mhm.
That's kind of how I felt about it. I didn't really feel particularly strongly, which is kind of. I usually feel pretty strongly about almost all music, even when I hate it.
I uh
Yeah.
But like I
I
just
agree and
didn't
disagree
feel
with you.
much.
Um,
Okay.
I'm gonna agree with the feeling that most of this record. I guess I'll start this off with some context. I'm a real big fan of Savages. I really liked "Silence Yourself." I thought that was a really
Sounds Yourself is
strong
good.
debut record. The song "Husbands" is
It is good.
fucking incredible, as well as "Marshall Deer," and really, it has this Nick Cagey feel to it that I really enjoyed. And
Mhm.
also the lyrics were really good as well. And it's just, it was a ton of things. Really liked that record. This new record I was really excited for, and I have to say that I am feeling a bit disappointed with this one. There were a couple of tracks that were really good,
Hmm.
and this is where I disagree with you. I think Adore is a fantastic track. I think Adore might be one of the best tracks to come
Yeah.
out this year so far. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love everything about it, and I wish the record would have been more of that. And instead,
Hmm.
we have this mishmash, this unfocusedness that I feel like really drags Savages down. I think as a whole, this album does sound cohesive, which is always a plus. Because with
Yeah.
bad records, I found that the one thing I dislike the most about a bad album is if things don't feel cohesive. This album does feel cohesive. The sound is
Hmm.
distinct to this record, and
Incredibly.
it does, in a way, feel like a progression from Silence Yourself. But the thing that I feel like is the weakest element of this record is the attempt to emulate Ice Age, like specifically those first two Ice Age records. The faster
Hmm.
paced post punk that's more about being dissonant, that sort of like Bauhausy sound.
Yeah,
It
for
doesn't
sure.
work with I can't remember her name, but her voice I feel like is very
Jenny
yeah. It's
Beth.
not Jenny
Jenny
Beth. Yeah,
Beth. Not Jenny
it's
Death.
not made for that faster like sound. Like it felt like it was her voice was like overproduced and all of the instruments were very underproduced. They had a like fugazi raw sound to them that was really nice, but her voice was like
Yeah.
soaring above it and it felt weirdly mastered and I don't know, I just didn't like that juxtaposition at all. I also have to say that I think the lyrics
Mm.
on this record were significantly weaker than they were on Silence Yourself. Specifically the
Yeah.
song TIWYG. I think that song
Oh
is
yeah.
fucking awful.
That one was a little
Yeah,
cheese ball. Cheese ball.
and like, I
For
like
sure.
the answer didn't have that good of a song. Like, I really honestly, the one thing that I like the most about this album is the song "Adore," and the rest of it, it's like I thought Evil was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I thought Evil was good, and I thought Sad Person was all right. Um,
Yeah, Sad Person and Evil were good. I also really liked you keep
no,
going.
well, no, you can jump
I
in.
have to remember what
Okay,
it's
all right.
called.
Um, but yeah, Adore was the highlight for me, and I think if there's any reason to listen to this record, you should just listen to Adore. Maybe the first half was all right.
Hmm.
Um, did anybody get any new metal vibes off of TIWYG? There's like
A
there's like
little
a
No.
part where
bit.
like Jenny
Not
Beth is like
really.
rapping, and I was like, really? This is what we're doing?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Yep. I feel you.
But
Yeah, no,
Kinda.
I yeah, I like Savage. Like Dan said, I really liked their first record. Really good. And I like Jenny Beth a lot. She's cool. She's a cool one. She's definitely got that Susie and the Banshees thing.
yeah,
Definitely got a little bit of PJ Harvey, especially on Adore, which is probably why I liked it so much. I was like, this could be maybe a PJ Harvey song, and she's my GF, so that's cool. But yeah, so the
Good
at
friend.
huh?
She's your good friend.
Yes, my very good friend.
Gal pals.
Gal pals. Gal friends.
Ugh.
um um yeah, the atmosphere of this record is pretty good. Like Dan said, really cohesive. It all sounds like it's a record and they're
Yeah.
all on the same album. So
Yep.
that's good. And it really sinks into that atmosphere on Adore, which is why it's the strongest track because it hits home like hard. And the guitar on that track is pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Now I'm gonna say something that's now that I think about it
Hmm.
might not be make anyone too happy.
Do it. Say
This
it.
record kind of reminds me of that Foles record.
I don't see that at all.
I can.
Like
What do you mean?
insofar as there, actually, I agree. It was a pretty good song, but I feel like on that Foles record there was a I can't remember what song. It might have been Melons and My Gay Boy. It might have actually
Yeah.
been earlier than that.
Hmm.
And that song was really good and it primed you up for like, all right, what's the rest of the album doing? And the rest of the album's kind of
Yeah.
shades of that song. And I mean, by design, most like songs on albums are iterative,
Hmm.
just because I mean that you have a core idea and then you keep going because that's just that just makes sense.
Hmm.
But it just feels kind of like too similar to the point like
Yeah.
like for
No, for
me
sure. It's all
if
the
a
songs are
song
too similar. I
if
completely
an
agree.
yeah if an album if I can't recall enough of that album
Yeah,
and it's kind of like becoming indistinguishable from other songs. I feel in general like that feels
exactly.
to me like an album is cut it too close with its iteration to the point where it just feels kind of monotonous.
Yeah, the only songs I really remember is The Answer because her vocal flow in that song is really awkward, which I thought was kind of
Uh,
interesting. I remember that song. I remember Adore. I remember I Need Something New because I think that track had good guitar on it, and I listened to it. But yeah, no, I'm with you. It didn't. It sounds cohesive, but it's almost like it could all be one song and not
yeah.
in a good way.
That also reminds me of Sweatshirt's new his record last year,
Yeah, a little too
where
like
it was a little too soon. But the thing about that is,
mushy.
at least I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Well, that
Mm.
one has amazing
Like,
lyrics,
yeah,
so that's what elevated that one. This one does
the
not
boy
have.
Earl always comes with on the bars. Like
Yeah,
this one, no.
this one not
Like
so
this
much.
one, not so much.
And I mean, it's cool to like hear this kind of rock music still being made, I guess. But yeah, it was a little bit uh sleepy for me
Yeah.
as well.
The Answer straight up sounds like an
Uh,
Ice Age song. Like,
Yeah.
just like it almost sounds exactly like
No,
Ecstasy. Like the fast guitars, the
dude, I was
unrhythmic
listening to
like
this.
singing, like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
mm,
yeah. No, I remember I was listening to this song in the living room. I don't remember what song it was. It might have been Evil. And I was listening to it. My mom came in. She's like, "Are you listening to Susie and the Banshees?" And I was like, "No, this is Savages." She's like, "Oh,
I like
okay,
the way she said evil though. It's cool.
yeah."
She said evil real cool.
So yeah, it was fine, but not like it wasn't bad. It just didn't
no.
it didn't sink it for me.
Yeah. Uh, personally, I also really like the first album, and it just feels like a pretty big, not pretty big. It's just a step down. It's just like I don't know. I don't know. One of my biggest pieces of the album is that
Hmm.
I didn't find any of like just how she was singing throughout most of the album. Just the lyrics, I thought both were just not very interesting and not really that great. I thought the instrumentation was fine. I
Hmm.
thought that sounded good, and I thought some of the slower songs were not really that great, except for Adore. Adore was a pretty good song. Everything else is also good,
Yeah,
but
You know
just
what?
it
This
it's all right.
it's
It's just all
passive.
right. Not too much to talk about.
if you could
Passive.
take the sound of playing it safe and put it into an album, it would be this album.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
Okay, that's a good way to say it.
They
Yeah,
just played it safe. Like even the first record didn't play it safe. Like okay, you guys heard Husbands.
Yeah,
Like that was kind of like the big
yeah,
song off of that record because it was fucking harsh. Like it was really like
yeah,
nihilistic and whatnot. And like this album just feels like they took all of that edge that Silence Yourself had and like smoothened it. And I don't know why they did that.
yeah,
yeah.
Especially if
I
you're
feel
going to
you.
be in a genre of post punk and like especially post punk nowadays, like this like third wave
Yeah.
of post punk
Oh shit.
where it's like I don't know if this is third wave or fourth wave, but like
We're in a
yeah, where you have
wave.
like this is a post Swans era post punk we're talking about, and this is a post like Interpol era of post punk we're talking about. So if you're not gonna go as like
Hmm.
hard as Swans, but you're not gonna go as catchy as Interpol, what are you doing? Like you need to
Yeah.
Ah,
you
I would consider Interpol
Interpol's
catchy.
incredibly
Like,
catchy.
Interpol is pretty fucking catchy.
did this kind of. I wouldn't consider them catchy. I'd consider them just kind of smooth. It's like combining Joy Division with a leather jacket and like whiskey and self-loathing of a single writer.
I think it's pretty
That's.
catchy.
It reminds me like Interpol's
I mean,
always
I like
reminded me of
Interpol's
like
first
Pixies
record
more than
fucking a lot. I mean, that's they remind me of Joy Division,
Yeah.
like just
No,
yeah.
they
with
remind me of
total,
Joy Division too, but yeah,
And
no.
then,
but also just cooler, like just like a modern Joy Division, which is totally fun because like Turn On the Bright Lights is one of my favorite records of all time, so
Yeah,
that's
oh yeah,
that's fine.
right.
I don't mind that. Yeah, my my thing is, funny enough, I was randomly listening to the Savages record, and for a while, I just randomly went back and listened to that record that Julian Casablancas dropped with that group he
the
has, the
Voids. Yeah,
the
Voids.
void.
Hmm.
Yeah, and there's some songs on that record that are eminently more interesting as post punk songs
Hmm.
than almost anything on this record. Which I'm like, wait a
Uh,
second, this isn't right. This shouldn't. Like, this shouldn't.
especially for a
No,
band called
this shouldn't
Savages.
happen.
Like,
Yeah, I
make
mean,
me
it's
feel
like
something. And it's a bummer that because
I feel very
the first
civilized.
album really did knock it out of the park with making you feel stuff, and this just felt
Yeah.
I
who knows, maybe the label had their greasy little hands on it, but I don't know. I'm not so sure
maybe
about that.
I don't know.
Um,
Let's see. Maybe next album.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah, maybe
next year.
next year when we get that new Deaf Heaven and the new Inevitable Savages.
Uh,
Maybe we'll get back
Oh, do
to.
that
to
let's don't let's not talk about Death Heaven again.
what are the final what are the
Oh
final
my
thoughts on
god.
New Bermuda by Savages?
Oh man!
That's a
Damn.
call.
Wow, flagrant.
I'm
Fuck.
sorry, I mean what went down by Savages.
Now, now that was savage.
Yeah. Oh.
Now this is what I call pod racing.
Oh my God.
I'm feeling a 5 out of 10 on this one.
I'm feeling a five as well. I agree.
Oh.
I was gonna say six, but like, you know
No.
what? No,
Yeah,
no, let's put this six.
I think five is a good. It's a safe
Uh,
score, much like this record.
Boom.
Five was.
Robert,
yeah, I'm feeling a 6 on it. I don't think it's too 5y for me.
Fair enough.
I think it's the definition of a five. That was pretty good.
We
Yeah,
also
it's good.
You let that moment land real well.
we also listened to a record that didn't play it safe whatsoever. What did you guys think of Jesu Sun Kill Moon?
I'm taking this.
Well, you went first last time.
I know. You know what's funny? The funny thing is, I went first last time. I'm like, wait, why did I do that? I want to take the other record first. Why was I talking? No, I'll give it up.
I'll go.
Yes, take it, please.
All right. So I obviously. Well, I don't know if it's obvious. Okay, whatever. I've listened to Sunko Moon for a while. I haven't really listened to Jessu's that much.
I have it all.
I haven't listened to
Me
Jesu at
neither.
all,
Okay.
or
Um,
God Black.
um, I like Sun Kill Moon. I don't know if I like Mark Kozelek as a person. He's kind of
Well,
not a great guy.
Sour asshole.
he's an asshole.
Yeah,
He knows
he's
it. I mean, he makes
no,
literally.
yeah, no, that's a thing. I never really like when he talks about himself on this album especially. I can never really tell like what kind of place it's coming from. If he's like, "Oh, I'm aware I'm an asshole, like sorry," or if he's like, "You guys think I'm an asshole, but really I'm not." So I can
I
never
don't think Mark
tell with
Kozelek is
him.
ever going to apologize for anything he said.
Oh no,
No,
no.
So
Yeah,
I don't think
I
it's the
don't
doesn't.
first one.
either.
I don't think it's the second
He
one
does.
either. I think Mark Kozelek is just
I think
Yeah.
it's just
himself.
he's just being
Yeah.
Mark Kozlak.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's I'm and I mean, it's not like he's not unforgivable enough to like stop listening to Sunko Moon because I do like it and I like this record a lot. It's freaking I really liked it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel that.
It's it's it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I like it too.
it's I want to mention the
Well,
lyrics.
yeah, because it's a
Mm-hmm.
Sun Kill Moon record, and that's like
This is a Sun Kill.
I
Yes,
want to
a
mention
Sun
the
Kill Moon.
lyrics. Just like the whimsy of these lyrics is just great. And it gets really topical. Like he mentions the Charleston shooting at one
Uh,
point and like yeah, I don't know. It also seems really specifically personal to him, which makes me wonder like where Jesu was. I'm like, where are you? This
He was
sounds
like doing
like
all the instrumental.
I know,
yeah.
and the instrumentals are fucking too good, dude. But no, like I like the lyrics on this record because a lot of the time it's just sounds like him just fucking like talking about his day.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
sings a lot like about his wife or his girlfriend or whatever. And he's just like talks about this kind of really casual stuff. He's like, "Oh, here are my personal bass heroes. I like John Entwistle." Uh but So I did like the lyrics. It's I wish a little bit that they were kind of more tailored, just like a tiny bit.
Yeah.
But the spoken word like tint to it makes it so much more interesting. Like it makes me like want to write a song just about what I fucking did yesterday.
Yeah.
Like cuz now I know that that's possible and it can
Yeah.
sound as good as this. The instrumentation is fucking great. Um especially when it goes into that kind of like shoegazy place. I
Totally.
love it. Song of Shadows, especially, like that shoegaze guitar, and then that kind of synth on top is really gives this really like dreamy, grungy atmosphere. It kind of reminded me of the National a little bit at parts, which was cool.
Which? The
Huh?
oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about a specific song.
Just in general.
Okay.
And I love the National a lot, so that was cool. But yeah, fuck. Father's Day is a great track.
Oh yeah, that's
The
really
breakdown on that track is so good. Ugh, I liked it a lot. And yeah, I was into this album a lot. It's kind of like it's not something that I would want to like listen to a specific song over and over again, but rather just like the whole record and then just like fucking chill out and just listen to this weirdly romantic yet kind of sad yet kind of quirky record. I really liked it and it's good shit.
Okay. Nice.
Um, I
Uh,
wouldn't mind going next if that's
I'm
okay.
sorry. Sure. That's fine.
Chewy, you gotta go last now. You made your
Okay.
choice.
Th-
I think I'm just gonna run out of
This
things to
is this
say.
is possibly the most masturbatory record I've ever heard, and I love it.
Yeah.
RJ and I kind of talked briefly about this, but there's that moment where he's reading letters from fans, and some people
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
hear it
Oh
as
my
this is
god.
very personal and nice, and I just hear it
No.
as here is
No.
5 minutes of Mark Kozlak
He's
just
an asshole.
jacking off on record,
Absolutely.
and I love it.
Oh, that's so
Absolutely.
Here's the deal. I think most people can agree that society loves like just quirky assholes, like like Han Solo,
Yeah.
mm.
and I feel like Mark Kozlak is like the
But,
Han Solo of singer songwriters. Like,
Yeah.
but like, I don't think Han Solo
Yeah.
is really
That's
all
just
that quirky though.
He's not, I don't
maybe
know.
quirky was the wrong word to
He
use.
he's a rogue. He's a lovable rogue.
Maybe Mark Kozlak is. I wouldn't call Mark Kozlak a lovable asshole though.
He's not lovable.
Okay, so like
not that lovable. He's just kind of an asshole, but he
what
makes
I
good
like the
Yeah.
most
music.
about Mark Kozlak and his music is his like it's coming from a place of realness because most people after the past
Yeah.
year know that Mark Kozlak is an
Hmm.
asshole, and I feel like
Yep.
any other artist would have this separation. Like if you look at like Father John Misty, where like Josh Tillman sings about being an asshole, but in all reality, when it comes to interviews and how he treats his fans, he's a relatively nice person.
See, that guy's more like
Yeah,
Han
he seems
Solo to me.
Okay. If if Father John Misty is Han Solo, then Mark Kozlak is Harrison Ford.
Okay.
okay.
I will concede.
Because like
Go on.
just
Okay.
listening to this record with context of everything that's happened in the past 2 years involving Mark Kozlak and Pitchfork and whatever, he doesn't play it safe. He says what
No.
he wants to say, and he does it not elegantly, but to the point of
Hmm.
it's still like listenable and likable. It's not rambly in the sense
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
bad. It's rambly in a good way.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It evokes like I said earlier with the Savages record, and I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of freak folk recently, so take this with a grain of salt. But it kind of evokes like Nick Cave to me. Um,
Well, he sings
he
about
does sing
Nick
about Nick
Cave's
Cave's son
son
dying,
dying.
yeah, but like I mean just
So,
like
yes.
sonically. Um,
Yeah.
I fucking love the first track and the third track where that shoegaze is still there.
Yeah. No.
The second track gives me a headache,
Yeah.
but the first track and the third track really do that really well in my opinion. I love the instrumental on it.
Hmm.
The only instrumentals I don't care for in this record are the more like electronic sounding ones. Um,
I like
Actually, I really
Um,
like
yeah,
I
those.
literally
liked
the
yeah,
those a
yeah,
exact. I'm
lot.
like the
yeah,
exact
yeah, yeah,
opposite from Dan.
Yeah,
yeah. I know
I
you
like
guys.
those.
We all
For
got
me, it's just
opinions.
like I don't know. Like I prefer the heavier sounds and the thicker sounds of the guitars and even
Mhm.
the synth. The synth not so much, just the guitars mostly.
Well, those never go away. That's the thing, is they're always there, and then the synth is kind of on top of it
Yeah,
sometimes.
and I think like where this record really shines is just like in its flaws. This is a flawed album. It's not a
Hmm.
perfect album by any means, but it feels human because of its flaws. It doesn't feel like this record doesn't feel like it was churned out of a factory like that Savages record. It feels like a record that was made by people who just wanted to make an album. And
Yeah.
it's not a bad
Yeah.
album. It's because there are obviously records that sound like people who wanted to make an album and it sounds bad, clearly. But
Hmm.
this album, even though it has a shit ton of flaws regarding like the rambliness of the lyrics that could easily be cut down, the length of these songs could easily be cut down,
Mhm.
the repetitiveness in songs like
Yeah.
A Song of Shadows can be cut down, like
Mhm.
all of that could be cut down, and I think Kaz and Jesu knew that, but they didn't because this is what the record is supposed to be. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
this glance
Pretty much.
Right.
into
Yeah.
Mark Kozlak, I guess, and like his ego, and that's like the point of the record is that it's irredeemably masturbatory, and it's you know
Yeah.
it, look at the length of some of these tracks. Like they do not like Beautiful You does not need to be 14 minutes long. It's 14 minutes long because
No,
Mark
it
Kozlak
doesn't.
wants to
Ah,
talk for 14 minutes, and you know what? That's I think that's how the record can be
that's
summed
yeah.
up. This is this is a good album because it really just it feels
It
so
is
fucking human,
itself.
and it's refreshing to
Yeah.
listen to an album that feels this goddamn like a person.
Uh-huh.
And those are my thoughts
Mhm.
on Cause A, as people are calling it.
Okay.
I feel that.
Um. All right. Well, first of all, I'm a really big fan of the more electronic sounding tracks, like say "Beautiful You" and "Last Night I Rocked the Room Like Elvis" and
Yeah.
etc. etc. And like, if anything, I think the album starts to get great at "Last Night I Rocked the Room Like Elvis" and "Had Them
I
Last Night."
agree.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
agree.
for sure.
Like honestly, it I don't know. At first, when I was listening to the first three tracks, I was like, man, honestly, this is not really that good. I was like, but I mean, I've warmed up to it a little bit, and I like the instrumentation a little bit more. But like at first, I was like, what's going on here? This is a mess. Like Mark's voice over these distorted ass guitars doing the same thing for 5 minutes. I was like, what is going on here? This is,
Indeed.
but but then like once "Last Night I Rocked the Room" starts, it's like the album snaps into place
Yeah.
and it goes on as it needs to. Like I think, if like in terms of instrumentation, I think the top three songs are for instrumentation are "Beautiful You."
Hmm.
This is in no order. "Beautiful You," "America's Most Wanted," and "Last Night I Rocked the Room Like Elvis." So I guess it tells you where my preferences lie.
I feel you.
Um,
I
but
really
it went.
liked Father's Day. Go on.
Oh, I yeah, Father's Day is really good. But in terms of Mr. Mark Kozlak, who's obviously the part that's there's a lot to talk about. Um, when it comes to him rambling about his day, it's at first for some songs it's really not that interesting, but the thing about it is that it always leads to somewhere interesting for the most part.
Yeah.
It'll lead somewhere like with Father's Day thing, where it goes into first of all it first off just goes into just talking, and he's like, oh yeah, I talked to my dad, but then at the end it's talking about parents who have had their child die and stuff like that, and it's a whole thing about that. Um,
Yeah.
at least I'm pretty sure that's what that song
Yeah.
was, right?
Pretty
No,
much.
no, that was a different song. That was Exodus.
It's
Exodus.
Exodus.
Which I
Okay.
would like to talk.
Whoops. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
You're
Okay.
finished.
Whoops.
That's fine. Father's Day
Okay.
is about similar. It's like they're similar but different.
Okay. Well. Okay. Exodus, really great song. Anyways, that song's really good. Just for that. Right. Okay. Right. Because Exodus, so it was about the. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's
Collective
all good.
classic. Um, I don't know. One thing I think is really interesting about Mark is that a lot of artists have their. I to be fair, I only started really listening to Mark at Benji, which like a lot of people. And I listened to Universal Themes and I listened to the first Red House Pioneers album. So I only really have
I
a
listened to
general
that too.
sense
Yeah.
of Mark. And I personally prefer the Red House Pioneers work over anything afterwards that I've heard. But still, I still really enjoyed the work that I've heard. But anyways, the thing that's most interesting about Mark is that a lot of artists have their I'm getting older work,
Yeah.
and Mark he got there from what I've seen around Benji, and now he's pretty much past that, and he's like at just the being old music, which I feel like not too many artists have, and make it interesting. He's just old, and he's just thinking about being old, and he's like talking, and he's like being absolutely old man about things, like that line that's like someone asking him if he has Twitter or something, and he's just like, I go want to lay in my bed and fucking die. And it's like
Yeah.
Jesus, and
Nice, nice
it's just
vinyl, you
amazing, and like,
hipster.
oh yeah, and he's like,
Oh
oh,
man, there's that
absolutely
one. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
fanatic,
god.
fucking fantastic.
It's a great piece of plastic. Most of the
Old
time,
man
Yeah.
yells at
loves it.
cloud.
Great.
He's absolutely unfiltered. Like there's a line where he talks about going in the water, and he says once your balls are freezing, that's all that matters in terms of body temperature. And it's like that doesn't need to be there. That's not no one's like that's beautiful. It's just he just wants it to be there.
No, I kind of want to agree with you, but like I disagree with you, but we'll see.
Okay. I mean like
Probably.
it's just the thing about that I like about Mark's music is that it's Mark. He's not putting up any acts. It's just it is what it is, and that's what it is.
It is
And it's
what it
They
Mark.
don't,
is.
Yeah, it is what it is, and that's
they
what
That's
it
don't
what
is.
think
it
it be like it
is.
is,
And
That's
but
all,
it
That's the
okay,
folks.
way the news goes.
talking about the fanlet thing, because I never really thought of it as masturbatory until Denny brought it up, and I was like, well, yeah, it is. But it's like I don't know. I just really like listening to, because it's like it's listening to Mark slightly not talk about himself for a little bit,
Hmm.
and it's just nice hearing a
but he's
perspective
totally
change.
talking about himself. Like, oh, Mark, how great
Yep.
you are.
but it's
A
not. But it's not him though.
It's not
Technically,
him,
it's
and more or less, I'm more talking about the one that was on
like the
America's
one in
Most Wanted,
Singapore. Oh, the one from Singapore.
um, where the woman was talking about how she went to
Oh,
the shows and she was pregnant,
yeah, yeah. That was
and
really nice.
yeah, and how like and like and I really like how the instrumentation goes. It kind of just all the beats or anything just drops and it just becomes like an ambient backdrop.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just think it was a really interesting album. I think it's a grower. It's a growing album.
Yeah,
It grows on you a little bit, even though it's an hour and it's 20 minutes long. So it's kind of like takes a bit of an effort to have it grow on you. But I think it's worth it, and I think it's a really interesting album. And I just wonder like every album that Mark does at this point, it's like, what's he gonna do now? Is he gonna ramble
you
about
can't
his day
predict
even
it.
more?
You can't really predict what he's gonna do. You
Yeah, you
can
can't.
the one con. I mean, like actually, are you done? Actually,
I
I don't
didn't
want to
think.
go. I don't want to go into a whole thing and you have more to say because I
I'll
just
just like I was just about to
no
be
no
done.
just
I was
I'll hold on.
focused.
I'll
I was
hold on to
wrapping.
that thought.
Wait, wait.
I'll hold on to
Wrapping.
it.
Okay, okay.
Um, I just think this album is really interesting, and I think it's pretty great. And I cannot stand the asshole that Mark is, but I just like him talking sometimes, and that's how
Yep.
it is.
Wait,
And
did you say talking? Say talk.
talking,
No, say
talk,
talk. Just say talk.
talk,
Say it again.
talk.
Because I've noticed like some people have like some people have that certain draw. It's not even just like southern draw, like other things like Midwest like accents. Like they say talk. like Tolk, Tolk,
Tolk, Tolkien,
Talk,
Talk, just
Talk.
talking.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
Like if you
That's
have
him.
if you're like from like North Kakalaki or something, you might say like Tolk,
I don't even know where that is.
North Carolina.
Oh, well, close enough. But yeah, interesting album. That was really great. Last night, had him rocking.
That's
Beautiful
such a good
You,
song.
beautiful songs. There we go. That's
Damn,
me.
that was good.
Ivan.
uh, I agree with. I remember I was talking about when I first heard the first song, and I talked to him like, man, this is shit. And you know, like, I was worried because I didn't like Universal themes. I thought Universal themes was overly long. I thought it was too messy. I thought like Universal themes felt very much like the musical form of the first generation of 3D console games. Or it's just you look back and it's just awkward and it's just weird. It's like teenagers.
Yeah.
I almost like a 16-year-old, not even like a 15-year-old. That's what Universal Themes was to me. I just like I loved Benji. Benji was my album of the year in 2014. It's one of my favorite albums of all
Benji
time.
is
I
fucking
just
good.
love that
I
record so
think I like Universal themes a little bit more than Benji myself.
well. That just tells me a
Rough.
lot about you. Anyway, I'm joking.
Oh my god.
But
I don't know.
Wait, wait,
Benji,
wait,
But
wait,
Benji
wait,
had more
wait,
standouts.
wait, wait, wait. Go on.
Had to open the app
I
and everything.
I need a fucking drink. Pretentious Taste is over.
you know, that he just did was like the DJ at a party who's like not that good at like CrossFit or something, and he's like, hold up, hold up. He puts it to the beat so he can cross something else in, and he just has his hand in the air with one finger, one index finger, like hold up, hold up, hold up. All right, now we can go. See, right there, what I imagined was like seven dudes just rolled up on this one dude in like a Volkswagen, they had like auto rifle, and they went to town on that Volkswagen and walked away. It's like they just unloaded. But anyway, Benji, the album was like I also like for whatever reason. The funny thing, I guess I'll get a little real here. For the funny thing is like I have most of my low moods. Funny enough, not in the winter, but in the summer.
All right.
So when eventually I got turned on to Benji, I would just sit in my room a lot of times with like nothing else on, and I would just listen to the album. And there are really great moments on that. Like Carissa is like, man, that song made me cry quite a few times. That
Mhm.
is a such a touching song. So when I heard Universal Themes, I was like, all right, can't wait to get more of that. And it's like,
Oh yeah.
god damn it, it's here, but it's like lost. So let's bring back to my first point. So when I heard that, it seemed even more lost on the first song. I think it's Good Morning Love. I think that's the first song.
Yeah. Good morning, my love.
And
Hmm.
it's like,
I
I'm like,
like that song.
did you guys fuck up the fundamental thing that makes Sunkill Moon's music, that makes the Sunkill Moon sound, is fucking Mark Kozelek's like just erotic pontification, just jacking his own just his genitals are raw from self-serving so much, and it's like the mix buries his vocals in like these really heavy slowcore, which actually is kind of funny because then it's kind of like in a weird way, a return homage to like Red House Painters, which were also
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, what? How can you be this dense? And that's when I put it down. I'm like, you know what? And I listened to it again. I'm like, there's no way. Like I heard Benji. Like and I even heard there even I mean I didn't like Universal Teams, but there's some stuff I thought was alright. And that first Red House Painter like album is really good. So I'm like, okay, I'm missing something here. So I pushed myself through the first like couple of really heavy songs, and then I got to I had them. I was walking through like Elvis or whatever, and I'm like, oh, all right, okay, okay, all right, I like this. I kind of felt like um like I was 11 going to the science center here, and I walk in and it's really fucking plush. And I'm like, all right, I see you. I see what's going on here. I'm down for what's gonna happen next. And I just kept listening to the record, and it just like it's definitely kind of a record where it's kind of like some things are better when you watch or read or play them twice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what that record feels like to me. Like So anyone who's gonna listen to this record, let's say if you listen to this after you hearing this, please give it like 2 or 3 tries, because
I liked it the first
it's
time I heard it, but I don't know
yeah.
myself. So other
And
people are not me.
in a way, I kind of respect how difficult it is. Like it's very uncompromising in
Hmm.
this record,
Mhm.
very much so. And like you just get into it's interesting because a lot of like Mark, like his rumination, not yeah, his ruminations are this weirdly hypnotic. He just keeps talking. You just like okay, so you just sort of zoned in, or I guess
Yeah.
zoned out by like just him talking. You're like oh all right yeah okay. It's interesting that that has mapped onto the composition, and maybe that's what he was looking for. With I don't remember the actual dude's name behind Jesu. I can't remember. Like I always forget his name.
It,
I think it's Justin
Justin.
yes.
something. Justin T. Justin. I can't. But yeah, if maybe because I'm like, who is?
Justin Broderick.
Justin Broderick.
Yeah, there we go. Because at first I was like, why this dude? Because like I heard like he was doing a split, and I listened to like a few just. I was like, really? What? Why? But then I started to think about a few listens. 'Cause I listened to it a few times. 'Cause I actually reviewed it on 90 Bag, and I'm like, I think about it, this probably makes a lot of sense in terms of
He did mention Godflesh on the last album and stuff.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, that's true. But like it's interesting that the sort of hypnotic nature of Mark's lyrics is directly mapped onto the instrumentation now, like
Hmm.
directly to the point where like
Right.
yeah, like the slow chord guitars, like repeating forever.
Yeah.
It's the point where you're like, oh my god, and you're like, all right, and then it's just in you. Then you just like, all right, like you don't even really think about it. It's just second nature at some point. Um, I agree. I agree with the electronic turn. I really liked that he kept some of like the touchstones, like the Mark like touchstones, and like brought out his nylon or whatever and stuff like
Yeah.
the fragile, where he talks about
Yeah.
like Chris
Fragile.
White, yes, and stuff like that. That was a really good song. Um, I really liked Exodus. I thought Exodus was a really beautiful song.
Hmm.
Like it was kind of rambly, which made it better because it made it seem more emotional.
Hmm.
Like he's talking about really heavy shit in that song, and talking about like survivors and the nature of being left behind, and like phantom
Yeah.
waves, that, and just being just deserted. It was really you can tell it definitely came from a place of pain, and that
Yeah.
was really
Yeah.
and I'm happy that he shared that with us. And I'm always kind of happy that he shares these things with us in a way, because like Danny said, it's very real. It's very visceral, very raw in a way that I really appreciate.
Hmm.
But Beautiful You is one of the best songs of the year for
Oh,
me.
absolutely.
It's like this weird, like the instrumentation. That's the first thing that gets me, and it's such a long song.
Yeah.
It's so
14 minutes.
Yeah.
it's so long, and like you can truck 3 Drake songs to this song. It is the longest. It's but I love it because it's this weird sort of. All right, so it's kind of like someone took New You by My Bloody Valentine off their last record and massaged it out even more, and then played it in the neighbor's like fucking like bedroom across like your neighbor's bedroom, and that's kind of close, but it's on the other side of the house, but it's loud enough that everyone else in the neighborhood can hear it, but it's also muffled. So it kind of sounds like that. So it's perfect to just really like tranquilize you
Hmm.
in a way. And then Mark is just going on about a bunch of stuff, like living life in San Francisco, and the idea that, well, oh, I'll think about my ex-wife or my ex-girlfriend, which he brings up a
Yeah.
few times,
Yeah.
or how his family, like how his friends, basically left him, and sometimes he feels really lonely, and like the whole scene where he's talking about um going into the water. I thought that was actually
Yeah.
really nice
Yeah.
imagery. Not because it was like particularly poetic, but just because it wasn't poetic in the way that maybe like other songs that are probably more or other bands. I can't think of a band right now that escapes me that has like really flowery language. Not like to disparage other bands for doing that, but something that is more traditionally poetic. I think this is very um, Lou Reed esque in terms of his poeticism because there's something
It's
kind of beautiful about
conversational.
how conversational, and and more importantly, just how like off the cuff it is in a
Yeah,
way. It's very
exactly.
autobiographical. It's like a journal entry, and he's just talking about going to the water. And it's like, you're gonna go in there, Mark? And he's talking to his
Yeah.
girlfriend and stuff like that.
Did you wait?
And like, I mean, the thing where
Did you say
I'm sorry.
Lou Reed-esque? That's
Yeah, it
funny
was
that you
very
say
yes.
that
It
because
very much
this album actually made
reminds
me revisit another album with Lou Reed on it.
Oh no.
Don't.
oh,
Oh no.
Don't.
this.
Danny.
Why are you
This album
doing
reminds me of
this?
Lulu.
Why are you
This album
doing
reminds me
this?
of Lulu, and I am not crazy.
Oh, alright, I'm done.
This is like that person coming up to the mic at sports things and being like 9/11.
Look, okay,
It was an inside
listen.
job.
All right, hear me out on this.
Oh my god.
You know how like
I'm
Metallica and
Oh.
Lou
listening.
Reed made a record?
I mean, he's
Yes,
not.
I'm
I mean,
aware.
All right,
Lou Reed
this
is.
is this is like
He. Oh god, Dad. Daddy's not
this
wrong. He's not.
this would be like
No, Lou Reed is
if
not.
this would be like if Tom Waits and My Bloody Valentine made a record. Okay,
I would fucking love that.
That would
Damn.
be awesome.
this
But Lou Reed, he's so cool. But why would you take my metaphor?
Why
Why would
would you
why would you
take
take
that
my
and
Hijack.
twist it
why would
this
you
way?
Hijack.
twisted? Why would you take my
because I'm right.
Padawan and turn them to the
I'm
dark
right.
side? Why would you do this?
You can
Oh my
continue. I just
god.
needed to point that out because I'm right.
But yeah, Danny is actually a pretty salient link. It's pretty salient in so far as like this is what could have happened if you made a good
Hmm.
record. But
Yeah, yeah. If Lulu was good.
a good record. But yeah, I mean, there's something kind of, and even like on some of his other stuff that's kind of just weirdly like postmodern majestic about how this shitbag is just kind of talking about like the day, but also it's fairly human. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very authentic. It's authentic shit.
yeah.
Like there's that one part where he's talking about how he was like I can't even do a Mark Cos like voice, but like he's at some point talking about being in the park. Or I think it's in the mission or something, and then he's like, "Yeah, I was sitting out in the mission, and dude was there with like his dog on a wheelchair, and he gave the
Oh
dog and
yeah.
wheelchair some food, and then he picked him up, and then they kissed, and you can tell that they're the only two people there in the world. It's real beautiful, real touching." I'm like, "Oh, Mark,
What was
that
the
is
one
really beautiful."
lyric about John Cusack?
I don't know, but no one has anything good to say about like if you're saying John Cusack, nothing good happening after that sentence, so it's probably
I
something
gotta
bad.
look. I gotta
And
remember.
it was Mark Cosmo, so it's definitely something bad.
Yeah.
1308 was a good movie.
But
Also, I really like the when he was talking about like the playground or whatever, listening to the playground and stuff. That
Yeah,
was nice.
I liked I think it maybe was on Exodus when he was talking
I
about Neil Young and like heroin and stuff, and I was like, oh shit, because my favorite Neil Young song is "Needle and the Damage Done," which is about people dying from heroin, and I was like, oh, there's
yeah,
a reference
yeah,
to
Mark
that
got
song.
into quite a few things
Yeah,
on
hmm
Exodus. Exodus is also a pretty long song, if I recall. It's
yeah.
like
I don't mind long song. I like long
yeah.
songs.
I like long songs. I
That was the
prefer,
Really
second
into
long
long
song, I think.
songs.
Yeah.
but I think as a whole, it's just
I
kind
think
of a.
Exodus earns its length more than
Yeah.
Beautiful You, though.
I think it's the other way around. I think
Yeah.
Really?
because Beautiful is perfect. Here's why Beautiful is perfect. The instrumentation is perfect for looping, and it can go on literally as long as Mark has stuff to talk about.
Fair enough.
So I think that's why it works. And it's like ending thoughts, so
Right.
he
Yes.
can just be like, I'm just gonna go on forever. So that's still
Beautiful You is such a great song.
it's. Oh, I love that
It
song.
is a good
I'm
song.
probably
I
gonna. I listened to that song for a while when I was listening to that record like on loop, like constantly just going back. Before I went to bed. I just put on. Cause I usually have a bedtime playlist. I actually have like four or whatever night playlists. And I put it on. I wouldn't even need a playlist. I just need that one song because it was so
yeah.
long. I didn't need any more songs, and
Right.
I just sleep. But I
Yeah.
think the record in general. kind of reminds me of why. Okay, now I know why I also brought up Julian Casablanca in the Voids.
Hmm.
I mean, I brought that up with the Savages, but actually the reason why I brought it up was because of this record. And I just my mind wasn't ready to go first, but I went first anyway for that thing. So I got some of my talking points mixed up. But yeah, the thing I loved about that record, and that record was kind of like people either you liked it or you hated it. Most people didn't really like it, but I kind of liked how brave and sort of experimental that record was, and that's why I like this record. This record
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of that
Yeah.
record. It's really
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
uncompromising, really untamed, but also just there's again some of the majesty in how gangly it is and just how
Yeah.
unwieldy it is.
Yeah.
Like that's
This.
a hard thing to pull off without it just sounding like you're not doing editing right or you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's hard to make
Agreed.
that artistic.
Yeah.
So if you were to give it a score,
8.4. I didn't quite like it quite much.
yeah, I'm gonna give it a strong 8. That's me.
Uh, I'm thinking. I was thinking a 7 on this one,
Of course.
but after thinking about it a bunch and talking about it, I think
Oh,
it's a strong. I think it's an 8. I think it's an 8.
oh,
I think
man.
this was the best step, the best next step that Mark could have taken.
Yeah.
And also keep in mind there was also a spoken word album last year. I heard a bit of it. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And there's another spoken word album coming this year. So I was like, okay, now. So this is about as good as it's gonna get for a while, I think.
Hmm.
I'm
We will see.
Danny,
I'm feeling a strong 7 on this one, guys.
oh, I thought you
I
liked it a
I
little more
liked
than
it,
that, though.
but it's you know, I like I said, did not really care for the electronic instrumentals on a lot of those tracks.
Oh, right.
Right.
I liked it so. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Different strokes for different folks.
True that.
We got a couple more things to talk about before we can
True
head
that.
out. But real quick,
We have kind of a decent amount of time, don't we?
what are we at
Like
right now?
to go.
Yeah, I suppose we got like, I don't want this episode to get any longer than 4 hours.
But
2 hours.
We wouldn't
But
oh,
want that.
out of feast.
two bands.
Finger.
We do gotta talk
Yeah,
about
we do.
that.
Two
Yeah,
bands that we're all
we
relatively
gotta
into
talk
for the
about
most
that.
part dropped two hot singles, and there's also that new Beyonce single. But first things first, new Death Grips track. What did y'all think of it?
Woo!
I wish they would end.
It wasn't as strong
It
as
was so
like
sincere.
inanimate sensations as a single,
Yeah.
but it's hard to top that. But I really, it's just always a nice night when those guys drop something, and I'm like,
What I
oh,
love about Death Grips is that the mere act of them making music and putting it out pisses people off. Like
Like I'm not even like pissed about it, but like I'm
I
just
wasn't I
wow.
wasn't
Okay.
saying anything towards you. You should. There are a lot of people.
No, no,
Yeah.
I know.
I don't have a
My
Twitter.
my indifference has been
Yeah, I don't have a
documented.
Twitter right now, but if I did, I'd probably get on the Pretentious Taste Twitter, search up Death Grips, and just see the mass amount of people like complaining. Um, the song on it in itself, though, I really like Hothead a lot.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
in
That
fact,
was
the
a
more
pretty
I
good.
listen to it, the more
I
I
like the
enjoy it.
chorus, if you can call it
Yeah,
that.
the hook.
Yeah, I think it's one of
So
those
like, I
filler
feel like
tracks.
people like I've been seeing a lot of talk about how like Death Grips has been like falling off since the Money Store because they've like left their like pop like headspace and moved on to
Nah, fuck.
weirder shit, and it's
Pop. They're in pop. When?
absolutely
They had a little bit of pop
they have pop
sensibility.
sensibility.
Not like they weren't
Uh,
pop, but pop sensibility a little bit on the Money Store especially is very like their catchiest, if you could call it that
And
record.
I would argue
Yeah.
that
are
they still
you
have that pop sensibility because this song, the hook on it is incredibly catchy.
Yeah.
And for me,
I
this was like the perfect like progression. Like from, you've got like the niggas on the moon sounding like abstractism and like math rocky like spinned fucking sounds, and then you have the aggression of Jenny Death, and both of those
mhm.
come together to make this song just kick ass. And I'm really excited for Bottomless Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am, but you guys know,
When does that drop?
wait?
yeah.
Hold
What's up?
on, hold on.
Uh,
Thomas
who
put another
knows?
Yeah,
record.
Who knows?
They announced, yeah, they
Album a
announced it
year.
like October.
God damn it!
It'll
I'm gonna
never
start thinking
end,
now.
Chewie. It'll
Why
never
not?
end.
Never, hopefully.
You know what? Okay, my thing about Death Grips is I'm not too mad that they keep making music. That's fine. In and of itself, that's fine. See, when Coldplay said that Ghost Story was their last record, and it wasn't, that actually pissed me the fuck off. Because I don't
Okay.
like Coldplay. But my thing about Death Grips is, like, you guys said you were broken up!
They
You said it was
they got back
done!
together.
They
This.
everything they do is in protest to
You know, they were actually never
normalcy.
they were actually never broken up.
No,
Yeah, they
they
didn't even
were
break
Yeah.
up.
I just.
not even from not like
No.
LCD Sound
Yeah.
System broke up
Like
for
I'm
5 years. Like
No, they're
no,
dead
they
I'm
or
not
still.
even joking. They had that tweet that was like, people think we broke up, but we didn't.
yeah.
So you said you broke up! And then you said they're gonna tour!
They
Why?
did release a note. They just like to fuck with people.
I
That's
think
their
it's
motif.
my thing is
But
just
I don't know. Maybe that
I
was like
just
one of
don't like
those
that. I just
get
don't like.
everyone off their back for like a few
I
months.
But my
yeah.
thing is, who I don't know why anyone would be on their back. They have steadily released content like and new music, like more than like you
I
probably your
I think
most.
RJ meant more like
What's the word?
labels.
Oh, why? I like
Money
because
Store's
I
they've been
mean, they
signed
did
to.
have a thing with Epic. They had a thing with Epic.
They had the
Yeah,
thing
when they
with Epic,
released
but I feel like there
fucking.
Yeah.
were I feel like more people were thirsty for Death Grips than was let on.
Oh yeah, because
yeah.
they're still on, because they're still doing their independent thing,
They're
They
right?
have so
incredibly
Yeah.
many.
popular. I mean, I would not be
My
surprised
thing is,
if they were constantly
No,
getting
they
you have
are.
emails.
so many records though. Okay, so the ex-military, there's Money Store, there's Deep
Okay,
Web, there's
but like
Government
hear me out on
Plates,
this.
there's Fashion Week.
Like that's not out of the norm
Which
for
is
punk bands, and that's not really out of the norm for hip hop bands like either. Like there are tons of like hip hop artists who drop like 2 mixtapes a year and shit, especially in the age of the internet.
and I don't listen to it. I don't. Like I just
That's fair, but I don't think that's like a
I don't. I guess. Yeah, I was gonna get to that because my thing is in general. I'm a very slow paced person.
Hmm.
Like I take things and I chew them for months and years, and I just like I'm a strong believer in the moment landing. I let the moment land sometimes too long. Sometimes that moment wants to go home. Sometimes that moment is working overtime, but doesn't want to be in the tickets. Not seeing that band because the moment is just with me, and it's landing too long, and I just ruminate over things for so long. So I guess that's why, like philosophically, that's why I'm just not interested in Death Grips anymore. And that is completely and totally subjective.
Yeah.
Like it
That's
Yeah.
couldn't
fine.
be any more subjective
It
into how
yeah.
I digest music. Kind of like how my brother doesn't listen to albums, which I don't know about that, but still, he doesn't digest music in that way. But I guess kind of a different story, but at the same time, it's related in a way.
See, like
But yeah, that's just
for me,
about
like Death Grips have never put out a bad
death
record. Like it'd be
death
different if it
news.
was like a quantity over quality thing, but I don't think Death Grips has ever sacrificed
Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
for quantity.
What about
Why
Fashion
Fashion
not?
Week was
Week?
good.
Fashion Week was a surprise and it was good.
Was it?
It
Okay.
hasn't got MC Right on it, but it's still dope.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like for a while, I didn't like
But
Government
again,
Plates for too long, but now I think that album's fantastic. Yeah,
That was alright. I thought that album was way better than No Love Deep Web
I
by
love No
Government
Love Deep Web.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought Deep Web was interesting when it came out because it was such a move backward. Like it's not like backward, but it was stripped down
yeah.
purposely.
Yeah.
That was interesting. At least, at the very least, that was
I feel
interesting.
like okay, and this will segue a little bit into Anko, but I feel like Anko and Death Grips have like the same mentality. With each album is like something new. Like
Each weapon.
no, like each album, like it feels like a natural progression, and it's always something new. Except Centipede Hurts wasn't that, but like the rest of like Anko's discog and like all of Death Grips discog is it's always like a
Yeah.
new thing that's still like good and in the sound.
Yeah.
I think I think Animal Collective though for me, the reason I probably more interested in Animal Collective is because they well actually it depends if you listen to all the side stuff too you
Hmm.
probably but my thing is if you listen to all the side stuff you probably equal out to like Death Grip's entire like as a group their entire output is close to all of Anco's output, including
Yeah,
side projects. Like if you were
Including
just to look at
projects, yeah.
these straight main studio Anco stuff, it's like, well, they have like what, 8 albums,
yeah,
maybe less.
yeah. I think 8 records.
Things.
Like 10?
Oh yeah, it's
Well,
10.
this is
10.
their
Yeah, they
10th
have 10.
one.
Yeah.
Is it?
Hmm.
I saw Centipede with 8.
Centipede was. No, this is.
Anyway,
Because, like,
I guess it doesn't really matter. All similar. But yeah, they're actually very similar. Now I think about them. When I think about the two groups, they're quite similar.
What did you guys think of Lying in the
Yeah,
Grass?
yeah. I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard it.
I thought it was pretty alright. I thought it
I
I'm
was.
thought it was gonna.
waiting.
I thought it was
I'm
gonna be on the album. So I'm like, all right, now I'm not listening to this.
I'm waiting to do the massive. I'm gonna do a whole thing.
It reminded me of a song off of Grim Reaper, but better.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
first
like,
of all, it's
oh,
got. Does it have
Green River was
John Cale or
okay.
Colin
But
Stetson playing sax on it?
I have no
I,
idea.
I feel like
I didn't know this was the John Cale
wait,
or
John Cale,
other.
like
Yes, like
VU
VU
John
John Cale.
Cale.
Yeah, he's somewhere on this album.
He
He's
play
somewhere on that
he
album.
plays sax. I don't know.
This might be Colin Stetson. On this, let me check. But
Based on
this
the
is like okay, like Floridada. That is a single, and it sounds like something that we've heard before from Anko. Lying in the Grass does not sound like
Yeah,
anything we've ever heard from Anko, and it works out really well, which is always exciting.
I
now
think it's
question
definitely a Panda song.
is that on
Yeah, it's on
Painting
Painting
With?
With.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm not listening to it. I'll just wait. I already broke my rule to listen to No More Parties, and I regret that. Even though I really like No More Parties, but I feel like I would have liked it even more if I heard it within the context of the album.
I feel like that'll probably happen for me as well
Mm.
with Mr. West. That
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that
crazy
encore.
fella.
I'm really
That comes out in a few days, doesn't it?
I feel like we're getting an
It
even numbered
does.
Star Trek movie with that record. The even ones are the good ones, the odd ones are the bad ones, right? With Star Trek. Well, well that's the conventional
That's
wisdom.
subjective.
I mean, like, but I think that's usually if we're looking at the mass sentiment or the most agreed upon sentiment, it's usually that. But
Maybe.
all right, well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it reminds me of then, but I have a good feeling
And
about
I
Painting
haven't
With.
heard it yet, but what did you guys think of
Yeah,
Formation?
Real
I thought
good,
it was good.
real
I.
good.
It's good. I didn't like the chorus too much. Well, no, I didn't like it when it got like. I like it when she's doing her kind of deeper, R&B thing, and then when it
Uh,
goes into the chorus and it's just like, here's a pop chorus. I'm like, great. Now I'm not as interested in this, but it's still really good.
I think that's kind of the nature of the beast.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing with Beyonce. It'll always be the thing, and I gotta just deal with that. But it's good. The video is real good.
I haven't seen the video, but I heard the song quite a few times. I'm like, man, this is
I thought
real,
the video was
real
good.
nice
The
sort
video
of.
is real good.
I like listening to that and coming off of Anti. I'm really excited to see where
Hmm.
like R&B pop, like the more like
Yeah,
okay, I have to be very careful with my words because I can't say pop because like I'm not expecting anything from Taylor Swift. She's not going to get interesting. She hasn't got interesting anytime soon. That's not going to happen. And Katy Perry literally has never been interesting, so I'm not. But it's like people
it's
like uh
popular music.
like Rihanna and Beyonce. Like I like where their music is going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like Rihanna's new album goes some places like what the fuck.
yeah.
Like what is going okay, I like this, like I like that. I feel like a lot of you know what, I'm just gonna say because I really don't give a fuck. I'm talking about a lot of black R&B pop stars. That's what I'm talking about. Let's just lay it on the
Great,
line. I like where the general thing is going.
because it's just
It's
it's hitting a lot of really good notes right now.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, and like speaking of like the Death Grips is far reaching influence. Like the ripple down the puddle is there.
Yeah,
Whether Rihanna just straight up heard a Death Grips record or someone or she was listening to some Kanye stuff and some Kanye stuff was like influenced by Death Grips or like, whatever
Yeah.
degree of separation is there, I feel it subtly nudging,
yeah.
and
Uh
I
huh.
like that. I'm interested in that. Also on that record, there's a real cool not real cool, but a really nice cover of Team Impala. That's all simple
That's
as
like
that.
the best
That's what
song
I've
on that.
heard. Is that
I don't
it's
think it's the
really
best
good.
song on that record. I think the best song on that record probably still work. But anyway. Anyway,
That
so
cover
yeah,
is so
ankle, very excited, very excited. I'm happy.
Well,
I haven't listened to the song, but I'm
we
ready for
have
ankle. I
let's
am
see, about 11 days till the new Anko, 8 days till new Street Fighter, and who
yeah.
knows when that Kanye is coming out.
3 days. It's coming out on.
Four,
It's
Kanye
coming
is
out on
coming out
Friday.
is on
Oh,
Friday.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
has a
has no
date.
name, but it is coming out on
what
Friday.
if it just has no name?
Or
That would be
that would be
That would
better.
be
legit.
That would
Oh my
be
fucking
the
god.
cool.
best, I
Just
think, option at
like
this point.
a
I wish. I
self-titled
wish it
album or
would.
just
Just nothing.
No,
No,
like just
Kanye's
kind
just
of like
like, this is album. Have it.
oh album.
how Justice's like their debut record, if you listen to Justice or have, like, it's
Mhm.
cross, like it's like, and you look at the name, it's actually a symbol.
Yep.
I wish, oh my god, I wish it was this fucking triangle symbol. Oh my, I wish so much that it was just a symbol. I wish more people would do that.
I
But
just I just hope it's good. I don't give a fuck what you call it,
Yeah.
Kanye. I don't
I've I,
care.
I
Just
I've
stop
heard
tweeting.
enough,
I don't
like,
give a shit. Just
tangentially, the stuff I've heard. I can never say that word right. Tangentially.
Whoa.
I
Here's
can't.
something I didn't know that
But
apparently is happening. What the fuck? Let me Google check this to make sure. Um,
triangulate.
yeah.
Did someone
Okay, I
die?
didn't know about this at all.
Come on! God damn it! Who was it?
Gorilla's Phase 4 is coming out this year.
yeah,
What?
Oh, I
Oh
thought this
it's
yeah,
thing
been a
yeah.
was
That
thing
dying.
for
yeah.
a
That
Yeah,
while.
Oh,
that
apparently so. I
oh
had
man,
no knowledge of this.
you're a
That's
little
been a
late.
thing since like last year
Yeah,
that
oh
was
yeah.
announced.
I think that's been a thing since Everyday Robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which actually was a pretty decent record.
Yep.
Was.
Yeah, it was
But
pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah. It's gonna be cool.
Okay.
I
Welcome
described
to
that
the
record
party,
look
Dan.
as I that Everyday Robots is like Game Boy Pocket Radiohead.
Game Boy.
Mhm.
That's a
It's
good. That's a good
Speaking of
description.
Game Boy Pocket shit,
which is better than,
I didn't know that Beck put out a
yeah.
Chiptunes album or EP.
Yeah, that was like
What?
2005. I think it was Hell
Yeah,
Yes
Hell
or Hell
Yes.
Yeah.
And
2005. It was
Yeah.
really
I
it's
didn't know
awesome.
really
about
good actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, when did
it's
this
bad.
happen?
2005, like 11 years ago, right
Oh.
before the information.
Oh, okay, I see.
My thing about
Um,
Beck is, it's like, the funny thing about Beck to me is Beck has never been more popular. Like, there have never been more people who know who Beck is since what was that record that came out? I should know it. I bought that record and I like, I mean, I'm a Beck fan. What's it called again?
Guerrero?
Where?
No, his last record,
Morning
Oh,
Phase.
Oh,
more things.
Morning Phase. I I I should be so psyched that like more people are into Beck, but like, the farther I get away from that record, the more I'm like, I don't. That record didn't.
I
First of
didn't
all, that
like
record
that one
didn't.
as much.
Like, I
that
thought it
record
was
It
was
wasn't
fine,
as good as Sea
definitely fine,
Change.
not even close to
Like,
yeah.
the Sea Change.
nothing will
But
ever be Sea Change or Weirdo.
I
It's my
think,
favorite.
although I don't think Sea Change isn't my favorite Beck album though.
Mine is
But
Weirdo, but
Sea
Sea
Change
Change is
is
a
Mine is
close second.
absolutely my favorite Beck album.
my favorite Beck album is Mellow Gold.
Metal,
Mellow
Oh
Gold's
yeah.
good too.
Metal
Love
Goat's
that record. That record is
Metal Goat's
so
good.
fucking
Beck is
weird. Oh
good.
my
Once I was
god.
at a party and this guy tried to tell me that Beck was a one-hit wonder,
Well, cause what,
and I
Loser?
was like, yeah, because of Loser, and I was
Is that like the same type of person that would talk about Mariah Carey being
Does
a
he
one-hit
not
wonder
like
because she's a
remember
Christmas song?
like
I know.
where
I told him I was like, there's been like, it's been like,
does like
what?
where it's at or E Pro?
E Pro.
E Pro, man.
Yeah, April.
I named like seven. I just looked at him and I named off like seven Beck songs that were amazingly popular, and he was like, "Oh." I was like, "Bye."
Jeez.
Bye.
That's me at parties, you guys.
Guess
Bye.
I found out that that Aruba Jamaica
What
Girl I
the
Want
grave
to
is
Take You
missing?
song was by the Beach Boys and I died a little last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Mike Love.
Yeah, Kokomo.
Kokomo? That's that
Fuck
boy Mike
my
Love.
love.
Fuck, yo, Mike Love. Oh, he can eat a fucking
I
brick
said
Fucking
wall.
this.
man.
Fuck him, Mike Love. If this somehow comes to you deeply from my heart, from my tiny heart, fuck you so much. Oh
So
my
hard, dude.
god, I hate
With
you. I hate you so much. Anyway,
I was just
Danny.
gonna say that Mike Love and that like that Deacon is Mike Love of the Animal Collective boys.
Oh god, I saw that. I think you made a post. I'm like, that's
It's
so
true
mean.
though.
That's Oh, is he like showing like running up the spot like Avi and like fucking Panda there making sound like that song's
Mhm.
never gonna do anything. Is
Yeah.
that what he's doing?
Well,
Pretty
Deacon's
much.
Oh,
apparently
that's
got a
terrible.
solo record coming out this year, so we'll really find out.
Ain't no
It
giving a fuck.
apparently might come out this month. I think,
Ain't no
right?
one giving a fuck. Wow, that's
What
On
so
if he puts it out
contemptuous to release
and
it
yeah,
the same.
it's painting with, like, that's the name of it. Like, you have Deacon painting with, and then you have
that's the album.
Animal
Oh
Collective
my
painting with.
god.
Painting with
Painting
Yeah.
with
Deacon.
Deacon.
All right.
Perfect.
Painting with me.
Amazing.
See, this is why Maddie sucks. Let me explain to you why Maddie sucks. That was the perfect time for that fucking air horn,
Shit.
and you didn't
Shit.
do it.
Shit.
Too late.
Shit.
That's a panic air horn.
Better.
That's you getting chased by the police and you're frantically shooting back. You're hitting no one. That's what
I'm,
that is.
I'm over this for like every podcast now.
um, is there anything else?
I think that's enough. I think that's enough.
Oh
Pixies
shit!
are making new music.
You know what's fucked? Yo, Div's album came out.
What?
What?
Div or Dive
Oh,
album
I
came
thought you
out.
meant Josh
Oh, right.
Dibb,
It
aka
really?
Deacon. I was like, what?
No,
No,
that's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No,
That Dive album came
I
out.
forgot.
alright.
I forgot to listen to that. Did that album? Oh, it came out a few
Hmm.
days ago, huh?
That album's
No,
not
it is
good.
not.
Really?
No, it's not good. I don't. I think
That's
it's.
good.
I had so much hype for that. And Dopamine's such a fucking track. It's such a good
That
song.
was the record that was gonna save Dive, and now they're dead.
Uh,
Yeah.
they did.
Well, I'm
Oh,
gonna listen to
They
it
like
anyway.
Sega circa 2001, fucking eyeing down the PS2 about to come out in 2 months, and then they discounted, like discontinued their system. That's what that record is.
All right.
If that's really gonna save them, then
Well,
okay.
thanks for listening, everybody. My name's
R.I.P.
Danny, and it was lovely chatting with you. And
It was real tight. This episode. I think.
super tight. All right. I'm Madison. See ya.
March by
Don't worry about me.
Street Fighter.
Is your
Luke.
mom home?